Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. Now we will begin with the end of term revision videos for the term 2 exam. Before we begin, let's go through the exam scheme. You have three parts this time. The first part will have 10 questions. Each of the question will carry only 3 marks. These are supposed to be easier type of questions, it will not be in depth. It's easy to solve, and all of this will be in the computer itself in the Swift SS. Whereas even the part 2 will be in the computer, and each question will carry 5 marks. So these are the ones. They are supposed to be a little bit more harder than the top ones. So we will go through all of them one by one, but the last part over here is all writing. You will have total 5 questions. The 2 are bonus. The 3 mentioned questions will be in writing. So these will carry the most marks per question. So it'll be about 6 to 7 per question. Now this is the scheme. I hope you already have gone through the revision presentation. I have included all the example questions mentioned in this exam scheme. The same question may not appear in the exam, but the similar type of question. If you understand the method, it'll be very easy for you to solve it. So now then, let's move on to the first topic. It is about multiplying matrices. There are plenty of ways, so I will quickly tell you through a few of the methods. Now, these videos may not include all the detailed explanation which was done in the class, so you can go through. You must have remembered some of the methods in the class were long, but now I will try to, go through the shortcut methods, the calculator methods, or if need be, the long methods also, the easiest way to solve. So now the first 20, part 1 and part 2 are all in computers. So you will have 4 options, MCQs. So there are many ways to solve it. Not only the long method, you can even sometimes, do shortcut methods and solve it. So I might use those methods to explain over here. So whichever you find easy, if you like the long method or whichever is taught to you in school, follow that method, whichever is easier. So now over here to multiply matrices, it can be done in calculator or the direct method. I'll teach you both because some problems cannot be solved with the calculator. That's why. Before we begin matrices, we must know what are the rows and columns of a matrix. Now over here, you can see from the left side when you start, this is the first element, right? Now this is this first row and this one is the second row. These are the rows. Whereas a column is something that is vertical. See, the first column, second column, third column. So now when we write the dimension of a matrix, it's always rows and columns. It has 1, 2, whereas 3 columns. 2 rows, I'll write 2 cross 3, that is 3 columns. Now you might have figured it over here. It is 1, 2, and 3 rows that will be written first, and next will be written the columns. It's 1 and 2, 2 columns. So this is how we write the rows and columns. Now, before multiplying, you need to look into these dimensions of the matrix. You must look at if this is the first matrix you're considering to be multiplied, look at its second dimension, that is the columns. This number should match this number. That is, the columns in the first matrix must match the rows in the second matrix, I'm sorry. So there are many methods. Now I will tell you one other easy method to remember, which I generally use. I always draw a line over here on the top and line over here. So it's like, it's not a T, it's an inverted L. So I always do that. Now, does this match these over here, the number of elements? Yes, it matches. Yes, then I can multiply it. So this is one way to know. Otherwise, write the dimensions. It's 2 cross 3 and 3 cross 2. So these two numbers must be equal. If it was 2 over here, then no, you will not be able to multiply these matrices. So then now, we will just quickly see how to multiply. This is the multiplication method, but now I will tell you step by step. Look at the topmost row, the first row, that is. Multiply with the first column. But how do you do it? It's always the elements. This element will be multiplied with this element, the first with the first. That is over here. Then you need to add with the second to second. The second element over here and the second over here in this line. And sorry, and then the third and the third. That's how we get it. So you can see it is 0 times minus 1. That's over here, middle. And last is 3 times 9. That's over here. So this is how we can do it. Then once that is done, you must remember the order for the next one. Say the top first row with the second column of the second matrix. Now, again, this is the answer for it. You can see it is minus 2 times 0, 0 times 0, and 3 times 3. Now, going to the second row, you need to multiply first with the first column, then with the second one. So this is how we multiply. Now you can see this 5 times 2 over here and so on. Same way we use it for all, and then you just add them up. Over here, 2 times negative 2 is basically negative 4 over here. Over here it'll be plus 0, and 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 4 is 23. And same way you can add them all up and you can find the answers. This is the answer if you multiply. Now same b times b multiplied by a. So this would be your first matrix. So now there are a few things to remember. This will be first, that is 1, 2, 3, 3 rows and 2 columns. And this will be the second matrix. Let's see, I'll write the dimensions over here. It has 2 cross 3. So yes, these two numbers match up, so you can multiply. Or I will just draw the top line over here, and this one, yes, 2 and 2. So that is how the same method, but it's always better to write this right side of the first matrix. So just write it over here, all the elements, and then it'll be easier. Otherwise, if you think of like this, it'll be confusing. So this is how we multiply. See over here, it's done. Same way. And now you might be thinking, okay, so though we multiplied 2 and 2 over here, it became 3 and 3. The thing about it is, now there are 3 rows and 2 columns. Over here there are 2 rows and 3 columns. Now these two numbers must be equal, right? But can you see this, the first digit, that's 3, and the last digit over here? This will be the dimension of the resultant matrix. After you multiply, that's going to be the answer. See over in the previous one as well, that is A and B, you can see it was 2 cross 3 and 3 cross 2. So the final answer would be first and the last digit, that is 2 cross 2 matrix. This is a 2 cross 2 matrix. That's how we do it. Now, that's it. And you can simply multiply them. Now over here you can see it's not possible, B and A, because the dimension of B is 2 cross 2, whereas A would be 1 cross 2. You can see if I'm multiplying this, B and A, it's not possible. This do not match. So not possible to be multiplied. Whereas A and B is possible. 1 cross 2, 2 columns over here. And this is 2 cross 2. This matches. So the answer is A times AB is given over here. So this is how we can do it. Now, all the time, these all can be solved in calculator, but this is not possible to be solved in calculator. Why? Because, now let me just show you. I will do this left side over here in the calculator. All you need to do is press mode and then go to matrix, that is option 6, and then you need to fill in the matrix A, that is 1, and select the dimension, that is 3. It is 1 cross 2, so 1 cross 2 is over here, so let me select that. Now let me type it in, 3 and negative 5, and once you have done that, press AC. After this, please don't go to mode. Don't press mode and 6. Only for the first matrix you need to press mode 6 and put it in. After this, all you need to do is shift and option number 4. Now, in order to fill the second matrix, don't press this. You need to press dimension. You need to input the dimension of the matrix, that is 1. For which matrix you want to fill in, that is 2. And what's the dimension? It's 2 cross 3. So it is option 4. Now fill in the values. And 1, -3, 2. So all we need to do is, again, press AC. All the matrices are saved. You can check them. If I just want, go to Shift 4 and equal to, this is the first matrix, and Shift 4 and 4, this is the second matrix. Now to multiply, you need to press Shift 4, that is first matrix, multiply it with the second matrix. That's it. So the answer is 7, 15, and -16. But let's try B and A now. Press on. Over here, Shift 4. First is matrix B, that is 4, B and A. Multiply it with A. Now over here you will get a dimension error because it's not possible to be multiplied. Now I told this is not possible to be used in calculator because there are 4 dimensions. This is 1 cross 4. So this is not possible to be multiplied in calculator. You need to know the multiplication method. So what happens over here is it'll be A and this is equal. So it'll be 4 times 6, the first value. Then next one will be 4 times, oh sorry, let me write it again. This and this, and over here 4 times 1, 4 times 4 times -10, 4 times 9. And same with this goes over here and over here, all the 4. You need to multiply it with 5 times 6, 5 times 1, 5 times -50, and so on. And I just realized that I've made a mistake over here. Sorry for that, because I solved it by myself in a pen and paper, and I just realized my mistake. This is correct, 24. This is supposed to be 4. I'll edit it now, and it's -40. 4 times 36, this is correct. And again over here, 6 times 5, it's supposed to be 30 over here. 5 is right, and this is supposed to be -10. Yes, it's correct. And 5 times 9 is 45. Sorry, these two were wrong. I'll just edit it. But I hope you understood the method. If you understood the method, it's very simple to solve. But now B times A is not possible. Why? Because this is 1 cross 4 and the other matrix is 2 cross 1. These two do not match, so it is not possible to be multiplied. So this is how we multiply basic matrices, and try solving it by yourself and check the answers later on. The second topic is to find the determinant and inverses. So let's start with the 2 cross 2 matrix. The 3 cross 3 matrix is a bit complicated. To find the inverse, determinant is pretty straightforward. The 2 cross 2 matrices are very easy. All you need to remember is like a cross. Now, first of all, this is a given matrix. You need to find the determinant. So what we do is, look, draw a diagonal line from the left side. That means from the left side, the 2 digits that come under it, the -4 and -12 will be multiplied and subtracted from the product of the other 2 digits. So it's basically drawing 2x, like an X, but you start the X from the left side, right? So remember, you start from the left side and draw, and then multiply the other 2. So it's going to be -4 times -12. It's always minus, okay? Just remember that. 6 times 8. Now, if you put in the calculator, you're going to get the answer, or you can solve it. 12 times 4 is 48. Negative negative cancels, and minus remains over here. 8 times 6 is also 48. It's 0. So now the thing is, this is the determinant. Determinant is like a value for the matrix. But the thing is, whenever it's 0, when the determinant is 0, you don't have an inverse. So the determinant of the given matrix is 0, hence inverse just does not exist. If it is any other value than 0, say negative number or positive number, then you will have inverse. Let's see how to find an inverse now. The same thing over here. This is for the inverse. Now, always remember The digits over here of the matrix are considered to be A, B, C, and D. It starts with the first row. You start, this is one, like A, B, C, D. Okay. Then these are 2, -3, -2, and -2. So determinant basically is draw the two diagonal lines, and then you write them. 2 times -2 minus 3 times -2. You will get the answer. It's -10. Now this is not 0. So that means the inverse exists. So there is a formula for inverse. You must remember this. You need to by heart this. The inverse of a 2 cross 2 matrix is given by 1 by determinant. That is, you need to divide the determinant value for all these digits. So 1 by, it'll be -10 in this case. And look over here. Instead of A, B, C, D, you're changing it a little bit. You start with these matrices, this diagonal line, right? These two digits, they are swapped or interchanged. So this A goes over here and D comes to the first A place. You're swapping that. Only the left side, the right side B and C over here, the second diagonal line is same, but you have to add a negative sign. That's the thing. So you need to remember this no matter what. And now once you understand this, it's very, very straightforward. All you need to do is here, say these two are interchanged. See, you have to, this -2 goes up over there, and these two will be having negative sign. And remember, this 2 comes over here, okay? So -2 over here, and this 2 is swapped. Sorry, it would have been more sense if I had put double arrow marks. That was silly of me, but anyways, I hope you understand the point now. Okay, this is a double arrow. And now these two are interchanged, and then the minus and minus. Since there are two negative signs, it get cancelled off. Now you're remaining with -2, 3, 2, 2. And now you must divide all of these numbers by the determinant, that is 1 by -10. So the final answer would be, since it's negative, it's positive 1 by 5. 2 by 10 is 1 by 5. Over here, so instead of decimal, we just write in fraction. Your answer in the exam might be 1 by 5 is 0.2, -0.3, 0.2, and 0.2 minus 0.2 two times over here. That may be the answer as well. It depends, but they are the same thing. So see which is the correct answer. This is how we do the inverse. To solve inverse, you need to have determinant. Now moving on to the third 3 cross 3 matrix. Now, so first of all, I'll tell you how to do the determinant, which is very, very important. So all you need to know is this. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you one thing. Whenever it's determinant, we draw two straight lines. We don't write like this. Okay? When it's big brackets, it means it's a matrix. Whereas when you draw straight lines, it's determinant. So I hope I have written yes. I have tried and managed to write it everywhere. But just remember, when you're solving for determinant, it's straight line. It's just a bit of technicality. But anyways, if you know the main concept, that is more than enough. Now, how do we do the determinant over here? So this is a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? Consider the first digit over here. In the first row, the first digit. When you're considering this, ignore all that is below it and right side of it. That is, ignore the digits, remaining digits in its row and columns. Okay? Sorry, row and column. That is the thing. Now, what is remaining over here? This much is remaining. So it will be -3 multiplied by the determinant of the remaining 4 digits. So from a 3 cross 3 matrix, now again it became 2 cross 2, right? You're finding the determinant just now like how we did. Then, what is the next digit? 2. Let's say 2. Now, when you consider 2, you need to ignore all that is in its row, that is this one, and its column. So what are the remaining digits? 1, -1, 2, and 0. So this is the thing. You need to write this. And lastly, we have 4, and again, remember to take this. So this is what you will get. Now you need to find the determinant over here. It'll be negative 3 multiplied by, we know how to find the determinant. We just now did it. So two diagonal lines, negative 1 times 0 minus 4 times 2 or 2 times 4. Again over here, 1 times 0 minus 2 times negative 1. And same thing over here. Solve it up, you will get the answer. That's 32. If it is not equal to 0, you will have inverse and you need to solve for the inverse. Now, in your textbook, they have used graphing calculator to solve. The reason is it just gets crazy, to find the inverse. And you will spend like, maybe 20 minutes just to solve the inverse. Now, I have put a link over here. You can use this link. It exactly shows you how to do it because you can easily watch it. It'll take take few minutes, about 15 minutes, I guess. It is not that difficult, but since they are mentioned over your graphing calculator, I'll teach you how you can do it in your calculator as well. So any of this matrix can, the determinant and the inverse can be solved in the calculators. So how we do it is over here. Let's take our calculators. First, to have the matrix mode, you need to go to mode, then press 6. And now since we have only one matrix in consideration, press 1. This is a 3 cross 3 matrix, that's again 1, and type the values. Minus 3, 2, 4, 1, negative 1, 2, minus 1, 4, and lastly, sorry, I messed up, 4 and 0. Okay, so it's minus 3, 2, 4, 1, minus 1, 2, minus 1, 4, 0. Okay, perfect. So once you have filled in all the values, press AC. And then you need to press Shift and 4. Please don't go to mode anymore. Just press Shift and 4. And now first, let's check our determinant value. That is in option 7. And which matrix you want to check for? You want to check for 3. That's matrix A. And the value is 32. Yes. Now how do you find the inverse? Now that is by again Shift 4. That's matrix A. And you need to press this inverse option and you will get the answer. Is the answers over here? Yes, I guess. Yes. Say it's negative 0.25, 0.5, negative, sorry, positive, it's quarter basically, 1 by 4. You will get the fraction down or decimal over here. So all the decimals are there. It's negative 1 by 16 and so on. You will get all the answers. You can check these answers. That is how you solve it. So now say for example the previous one, you can try that as well. Again, I'll just I'll clear the calculator and I'll show it from the beginning. It's from mode 6 is matrix, and then since we have only one matrix in consideration, it's 1, and this dimension is 2 cross 2. Let me type the values. It's minus 2 and minus 2. Now once you've filled in all the values, press AC. Please don't go to mode anymore. Press Shift 4 and 3 to find. Okay, let me first find the determinant. Shift 4 and 7 and then Shift 4 and 3. Now close the bracket. Over here you will get negative 10. That's correct. Now let me find the inverse. That is Shift 4 matrix 3 inverse. The answers are 1 by 5. So it's 1 by 5, minus 3 by 10, negative 1 by 5, and minus 1 by 5. So this is how you can easily solve it. Now, if at all the determinant is 0, say for example in this case, if you go to find the matrix, you'll just not get anything. You'll get dimension error, I believe. So that is the thing. Please do try the other problems. It's just the same. You can easily find it in the calculator, whether it's 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 2, all the answers can be easily found out. The third topic is writing the parabolas in the standard form. We will see the general and the standard form. Now, this is the quadratic function generally given as. This is the general form of a parabola. A parabola is something like this when you graph it, or it will be down, opening downwards. This is a parabola. So if you graph this, it will be something like this. The standard forms are given over here. Y equals a multiplied by x minus h the whole square plus k. Or it can be in terms of x equals a into y minus k the whole square plus h. Now the thing about this is, you can see this is the vertical axis which is in consideration. Now the x squared is the vertical axis, whereas, sorry, the y is the vertical axis we are dealing with, and x over here, x means the horizontal axis, so you can see this is the graph. Now over here, looking at the equation, you can get a lot of information. If this a value is positive, it is plus a, 1, 2, 3, any of these numbers, positive numbers, you will have like this. Whereas if it is minus, let it be minus 2 or any negative sign will make it open downwards. Similarly over here, positive sign would open right side, negative sign would open left side. Now, this h and k is the vertex. We will see all this in detail over here. Now, these are the formulas. So this is the parabola, and these are the basic formulas which you must remember. Some important things are direction of opening. Whenever you have positive a, it'll open upwards, whereas negative a downwards. And looking at the equation, if y is only power 1 and x is power 2, it is a vertical axis, otherwise it's a horizontal axis. Then the vertex is always h and k, that doesn't change. The vertex is the focus point over here, sorry, not the focus point. Vertex is like an edge, or where everything is everything is being ending, it's like a sharp edge, this is a vertex. So it's not a sharp edge, but still the bottommost point or the topmost point will be the vertex. Now, axis of symmetry is basically for the vertical axis, the x value. Where is this symmetry? Axis of symmetry means a line that equally divides the parabola. Now this part and this part are equal, isn't it? You can see they are, same way it's going up over here as well. So that particular point where it equally cuts the parabola into halves is axis of symmetry. If it's a horizontal one, it'll be y value. At y value, it'll equally cut. Focus is given over here by these formulas, directrix and latus rectum. Now we will solve the problem in the third topic. It is very easy, very straightforward. I'm just explaining you about parabola. You do not need to know all this information for this particular problem, but you need to know for other problems. Now, there is another shortcut method. Instead of doing the long cut or the normal method which we do, there's a shortcut and a simple method, but you must know these a plus b the whole square formulas. Let's quickly recall. A plus b the whole square equals a square plus 2ab plus b square. And if it is minus over here, a square remains positive. Only this middle part, minus 2ab, is negative, and it's minus over here, and plus b square. So why do we need this? The questions will be something like this. You will have the general form. See, the general forms are given. Now, you need to find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction of opening, and then write the equation also in the standard form. All these things must be done. Now, since it is the topic 3, you will have MCQs. You will have 4 answers. Looking into the answer as well, you can solve the answer, solve the question. So now, the natural method is completing the square method. You need to complete the square and simplify and solve it. That was taught to you, I believe, in the regular classes in term 2. But now over here, I will teach you a shortcut method. See, all the answers, there'll be 4 options, right? So vertex is very easy. You must remember a formula for a vertex. It is minus b by 2a. This always is the vertex. It doesn't matter whether it's x-axis or y-axis. It's vertical or horizontal. It's fine. It'll be the same formula. I'll solve a few over here. Now b is, so this is a, b, c. Now b is before x, a is before x square. Over here we have b to be minus 24. Sorry. The minus is in the formula itself. Then again minus 24 divided by 2 times a. 2 multiplied by 2. The answer would be, this would be 4, 4, 6. It'll be positive 6. So that is the answer. So this is the x value of the parabola. But now this is also the axis of symmetry. That is the same thing. These two values always remain the same. Now even over here, let's see over here, you can do it. Minus of minus 6 divided by 2 times 3. That would be positive 6 divided by 6. It'll be 1. See, it's the same thing. I'll do one more over here. Here now, the values have changed. I mean, the axis, it is not vertical axis, it is horizontal axis. But still, the formula is the same thing, minus b by 2a. And all you need to do is put the values in. B is minus 8. The B does not change, A does not change, C does not change. Only the X and Y changes. So it is fine. 2 times A is nothing, that's 1. And you will have 8 by 2, that is 4. But now there is a very important thing. Axis of symmetry was X over here, but now it is Y. Because when you graph this, you will get something like this. So this is the Y value. So Y value is 4. Over here, you'll find the Y value. Now, we found our axis of symmetry and we found out this particular value in the vertex. How do we find the other value? In this case, when x equals y squared, we find axis of symmetry y value and this y value. How do we find the others? Very simple. Take out your calculator. Whatever axis of symmetry you get, put it in the equation. See, instead of x, put the x value, x squared minus 24 multiplied by x plus 40. And the answer would be negative 32. So that is this answer. Let me do it over here as well. So all you need to do is this 4 square minus 8 times 4 minus 11. And that's the answer. It's minus 27. So x value will be, just put the y value in, you'll get the answer. So we can easily find the vertex, axis of symmetry. What about the direction of the parabola? If it is positive, it's always opening upwards. Over here, it's positive upwards. But now, since over here, the direction is changed, it's not vertical, it's horizontal over here, it opens the right side. Now, sorry, over here, now this is very important because x equal to everything to the other side, it'll be x equal to minus 3y squared. Now, this will be opening to the left side. Okay, just be careful because the general form must have x or y to one side and all the squares, see for example like this, in the other side. Okay, it'll be ax by. So that's the thing. That's how we can solve all these values. But now we have still not solved the standard form. One way is to use the completing the square method and you can easily solve it. But I will tell you an easier method. Now, when you have got the vertex, you will have an idea because the standard form will have the vertex in it, the h and k value. Just remember this x minus h. So h value over here, the vertex value is 6, so x minus 6. Then we will have plus k. But here now, look over here, the k value, that's the y axis, is 32. So it is minus 32, sorry. So it will be minus 32. And don't forget the square, sorry, I forgot. And don't forget the a value. The a value was 2. So this is how we can write. Or if you're getting confused, remember the standard form. You can also do one more thing. That is expand this. See now, this I have to just expand. 2 multiplied by what? Use the x minus a the whole square or a minus b the whole square formula. It'll be a square. Over here the first term is not a, it's x squared minus 6 times 2 is 12 and x. So it is 2a into b. So 2 multiplied by 6 multiplied by x plus b squared. What is this b value? You need to square it. It'll be 36 minus 32. Now simplify, multiply this inside throughout. It'll be 2x squared minus 24x plus 36 2s are 72 minus 32. Now 72 minus 32 would be 440. The answer should match the question. Let's check. It is 2x squared minus 24x plus 40. So if you simplify this or expand this and simplify, what happens is you should get the question back. So this is how you can do it. Now, over here, in this case, you should just remember the formula. See, the formula for the standard form in the vertical axis of symmetry and horizontal axis of symmetry is different. So please remember it thoroughly. Over here, you can see y minus k. So whatever the k value is there in the vertex is inside and whole squared and added with the h value. So it's not the same thing what we did over here. See, over here, this is h k. The k value is minus 4, then that will be whole squared, plus the h value, but it's minus, so I'll write minus 27. And over here, a value is 1, so we don't write it. So this is the standard form. So this is how we can easily solve it. Now, we do not use simplifying the square method. Some students get confused with that method, or you might find it very lengthier. Since all the options are there, you can do it quickly. Now, we have explained taking a long time, but once you're thorough with these problems, it'll take you max 1 to 2 minutes. You can solve these problems very, very easily. The next topic is to graph circles. The standard form of circles is given over here. X minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square. Here, h and k are very important. They are center of the circle. It can be any values. And r is the radius. Now, sometimes the center will be 0. That is center 0. Then it reduces to, only this much. This is the formula. X square plus y square equals r square. What happens is this and this is 0. If you simplify, you're remaining with this much. Now, to solve this is also very easy because this is an MCQs. You will have the options already with you. How do you solve it? Look at the equation. Here they have mentioned x square plus y square. There is no center. It's 0, 0. Then 75 is given. We know that is r squared. We need to know the radius. So r square is 75. So r radius would be square root of 75. You can easily solve this. Square root of 25 by 3 and 5 root 3 would be the answer. Or you can simply put this in calculator and you will get the answer. Now 5 root 3 would be about 8 point something. So over here you should just count 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Whatever value you get, you can use a calculator and solve it. Same thing over here. See, the y value is single. That means the center of the y is 0. See, y is 0 over here. Whereas x is minus 3. So, see, this is 0 for y. It is not going 1, 2, not over there. But the center is, x is not 0. It moves. Now, remember, whenever over here you have minus 3, the center is just this value. It's only positive 3 because it's very easy to remember this. Whenever you have minus over here, remember the center is positive plus. If it was plus over here, it would have been minus 3. That is how we can remember easily. And then now 3 means 1, 2, 3. So this is the center, 3, 0. And the radius is 2 mentioned over here is square root of 4. Radius will be 2, 1, 2. So that's it. That is how easily you can find the answers. Over here, first see the center. It is 1, 4. Okay, the center must be 1, 4. Yes, it is. Then the radius is square root of 36. It's almost square near to 6, unit, because 36 square root is 6. 34 will be 5.8 or something. Just count it and you must get that answer. Same way, please try to solve the other problems by yourself and then try to check the answers. There is other methods as well. You can do the regular graphing method, but this is more easier and more simple. And since the options are given, I'm telling you the shortcut methods over here. The fifth topic is to write equations for ellipses. Again, it is an easy and a simple topic. Now, the standard forms for ellipse when the center is 0, 0, there are two of them. See, one is the horizontal orientation. Now, imagine this is the center. Sorry, it's not so center. Anyway, this is 0, 0, center. The standard form is given like this. But the same thing when it is vertical, somewhat like this, and the center is 0, 0, you are given this form. Now, what is the difference? Look closely over here. See, this a square is very important. Why? Because that is the major axis. The major axis means the biggest length. Okay, so this a value is more than the b value. Now, wherever the a value is below underneath, that means if it is underneath the x, then it is horizontal. If it is underneath y, then it is vertical. So this a value depicts the orientation. So it's very important. Now it'll be a number. If it's bigger number underneath x, then it is horizontal. If the bigger number is underneath y, it's vertical. There are other methods to also understand, but this is one of the easier method. Okay, so just see which has the bigger number in the numerator. Same thing is translated over here for the ellipse with a center h and k. Now what happens over here is you should minus h and minus k just like the previous topics, that is for parabola or circle. It's similar to this. So just what you do is x minus h. So h is the x value of this center and k is the y value of the center. So now imagine the circle center, the ellipse is centered at 2 comma 5 minus 5. So then this would be x minus 2 the whole square by a square plus y minus of minus becomes plus 5 the whole square divided by b square. This is a square. So this would be the difference. So it's just that whenever the center is at different point, we need to add the x and the h and the k values. Now we will quickly solve some problems. They are very easy, very straightforward. Now here they have given us an ellipse. Looking at it, we can understand it's an ellipse. It's not a circle. This is a vertical oriented ellipse. So vertical oriented means the bigger value must be below y square. That's it. Plus x square. You can write x square first also, but it's better to write the bigger value first. It is easy to understand. Now, what is the center? It is 0, 0. You can see this is 10, 0, comma minus 10, and this is 0, 10. The center is 0 and 0 over here also. So nothing will be added or subtracted. And then what do? Find the measure. What is the radius? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is, sorry, all the terms are in terms of 2 units. So 5 into 2 is 10. From here to here, what is the length? That whatever length that is a. So it is 10, but remember we need to write y square divided by a square. A is 10, the square of that is 100. Now same way, the b square value, what is the b square value? It is not this, this is the foci. If you see the graph in the previous page, you can pause the video and go back, or you can see it later. This is the foci, it's C. The B is this over here. Now all you need to, this is the minor axis. All you need to do is measure over here. It is 1, 2, 4, 6, and 6 squared must be written over here. Equals 1. Always remember it must equal 1. Now when you simplify when you square these, you'll get 136. That is the answer. Similarly, you can try the others. Over here, it is a horizontal orientation. Now, it goes from 0 to minus 9, 0 to 9. A value is 9, so it will be 9 square 81. And the the minor axis is 4 square 16. Sorry. Okay. Over here now, the center is not the same. Count the center. It is minus 2, minus 4, minus 5. And minus 2, minus 4. So x is at minus 5, y is at minus 4. Over here, it becomes x plus 5, x plus 4, because the formula already has 1. If it is minus, it change the sign and write it whole square divided by, since it's a horizontal orientation, the major axis, the bigger length must be below x. Now let's count. You can see this is bigger. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 7. A is 7. 7 squared is 49. And over here it's 2, 4, 5, 25. Similarly, solve these by yourselves and then check the answers. All the answers are mentioned in this presentation. The next topic is to write the equation of a hyperbola. It's similar to the previous topics, just that the standard form and few other things are a little different. The graph over here for hyperbola is kind of like two parabolas. You can see over here and over here. Now, there is one more important thing, the orientation. Over here, you can see whenever there is x squared by a squared is positive, horizontal orientation it is. Whereas it's negative x squared by y squared and y squared by a squared is positive, then it's vertical orientation. Now, it's also important to notice, see, whenever it's positive, a squared, the bigger value is with it. Whereas b squared is the smaller one, it's co-vertex value. See, b is co-vertex, whereas a is vertex. Okay, so x squared by a squared, the positive will have the bigger value. And also remember, in the ellipsis, a was the biggest, the major axis, the biggest length. But here the foci value is the biggest. And the equation of asymptote is also important. If it is horizontal, it's b by ax, whereas it is a by bx if it's vertical. And if you want to find the value of c, you can use this formula. It's always c or a or b. Use this formula. You can find any of this value. So it's very simple. Now we here, this is the foci, the vertex, co-vertex. Now let's see a problem. It's very, very easy. Now, the asymptote for a hyperbola are y equals 5 by 3x and y equals minus 5 by 3x. Now look over here. So asymptote is either b by a or a by b. We do not know which one because it can be any one. We do not know whether it's horizontal or vertical. So, and it's plus or minus, so we have plus and minus. Now, what is the thing? The vertices are 0, 5 and 0, minus 5. Write the equation of hyperbola. So the vertices, see in the previous figure, the vertices they are given over here. Now let's graph this. Now imagine this is the 0, 5 is up over here, there's one vertex, and minus 5. And now this is very important. If the vertices are like this, it is going like this and like this. Now you will realize it's not this diagram. It is not horizontal orientation. It is a vertical orientation. You can see. So all the vertical formulas are used. See, now the center over here is 0 and 0. You can easily understand because it's 0 and 0. But what about the a and b value? You can easily find it uh, from this particular asymptote values. Say, let's see the formula over here. The graph will be something like this. The formula is plus or minus a by bx. A is 5, b is 3. And the vertices is given, so we know vertices is 5, a is 5. That is simple. But what about the b value? It's 3. So this is the thing. Now you can put it in the equation. See, this is the equation, standard form. Write it over here. Just substitute it. Y squared divided by a squared is 25. 5 squared minus x squared by 3 squared. This would be the answer. So it is very straightforward and easy. Just try it by yourself. You can try it by yourself, similar problems, solve it and check for the answer. Before ending this problem, please be thorough with both the orientations, because if you only study one orientation, it's not possible to solve. And you need to understand this, thoroughly understand, because you need to analyze the figures, make a way in your mind, and realize the standard form, how it is connected. When it is horizontal, this is the formula. Vertical, this is the formula. Anything can be asked, so be thorough with both of these. Okay, so just be thorough with both of these. Now if it is horizontal, this is the figure. It's horizontally written. Vertical is like this. And they will give you information in the question to easily understand whether it's vertical or horizontal. The next topic is to solve system of linear and nonlinear equations. Over its inequalities by graphing. Now, here you must be thorough with the previous topics, that is, the standard form of parabola, hyperbola, ellipse. You must be thorough, and the circles is also there. You must understand when you look at an equation, you must know which equation it is. Then, if you know that, if you understand that thoroughly, you do not need to do the long method or the graphing with the X points, Y points, table method. No need. I will tell you a shortcut method. Since over here it's the seventh topic, you have the MCQs, the options will be given. By looking at the options, you can easily deduce the answer. So now one thing before we start, you should see, you must realize that whenever x squared plus y squared is greater than or equal to, that means it's radiating outside. Greater means out, more. Okay, all outside. If this was less than or equal to, then it would have been inside. If this was less than or equal to, everything would be inside. The shaded region would be inside. Now over here it's greater than. See, over here it's greater than. This is a circle, it's going out. Whereas this is less than, that would mean this region inside over here. So from this circle, all part outside, and in this ellipse, all part inside would be the shaded region. But that is just the shaded region. That's simple. But what about these equations? The first equation is very easy. It's a circle, isn't it? When you look at it, you will understand. It's x squared plus y squared greater than or equal to. I'll just take it as equal to for now. Equal to 6 squared. The root of 36 is 6 squared. Very simple. Now that means the center is 0 and 0. See, the center of the circle is 0 and 0. Radius is 6. 2, 4, 6. Yes, this is correct. Now, what about the other equation? When I look at it, I realize this is not hyperbola because it's plus. If it was hyperbola, it would have been minus. Now, here I can easily understand that this is ellipse because it's plus. But there's one problem over here. This is this must be 1, not 36. So what happens? I'll basically divide this by 36 everywhere. What I'm saying is, I'll divide this by 36, 36, 36. Now let me simplify. It'll be x squared by 36. Instead of 36, I'll write 6 squared. If you remember the standard formula, x squared by a squared plus 9 and 36 simplifies. It'll be y plus 6 the whole square divided by 4 is, sorry, 2 square. Less than, I'll write equal, just equal to over here, 1. 36 by 36 is 1. So this is the standard form. Now if you have the standard form, it is very easy to graph. Now let's see the center. X doesn't have anything, so it's 0. What is over here? Plus 6 means change the sign to minus. It'll be minus 6. Okay. Now you can see 0 comma minus 6. This is the particular point. Okay, so far so good. What next? Over here, a value is the major axis, a squared. Major axis is 6. That means this length from the center to the vertex, it'll be a, that is 6. 2, 4, 6. Yes, it's correct. And the co-vertex, the above, the other minor axis will be 2. And it's, yes, over here you can see it's either 2 up or down. That's the thing. So this is how we can deduce and come to know which is the correct equations. I mean the figure graphs. So this is the graphs. But you know what? There might be another option with the same graph. But the shading region might be this inside over here. This might be shaded. How do we know which is the correct shaded? Look in the graph. X squared plus y squared is greater than or equal to 36. That means it's outside. Okay, everything is outside. So this outside over here. And over here it is less than or equal to 36. So that means in the ellipse it's all inside. So this would be the overlapping region. See, whatever is shaded. Yes, this is correct. It can't be over here because it goes outside. Only this is the correct answer. Similarly, you can solve the others. I won't solve all over here, but I'll just tell you over here this is again an ellipse. But how do you simplify it? Divide everything by 56, 56 and 56 over here. So over here it'll be 4 ones are, it'll be 14 over here. Again 1 and over here it'll be 4 and again it'll be 1. So the answer is x square divided by square root 14 plus uh, over here why I'm doing square root is to get the a value, but this value of square root 14, it's over here 3.74. So I'll write it as 3.74 over here. 1 minute. That is 3.74 the whole square, then plus y square divided by, instead of 4 I will write 2 square equals 1. This is the standard form of this particular ellipse. Let us check this. Major axis over here, this is a horizontal orientation. Major axis 3.74, 1, 2, 3, and it's 75 or 74. So this is 3.74, correct? Co-vertex, it should be 2, 1, sorry, 1 and 2. This is the thing. Now all you need to do is see where is the graphing. Now over here we know for this circles or hyperbola it is within this region, so yes, it's inside. But what about the other one? This is a parabola, but you can see x over here, x greater than y square. Okay, if it was x greater than y squared, it would be right side. This is the horizontal parabola. But since this minus sign is there, you can take the minus to the other side. It will change its orientation. It will be left side. If it was plus, this would be right. Now it's minus, so it's left. Now, over here, you must be very, very careful. Whenever you have x is greater than y square or y is greater than x square, the graphing, if it was like this, the graphing would be inside. Now over here it's like this, it'll be inside over here. So the graphing is inside. Which is the overlapping region? Inside over here and inside of the ellipse. That is the answer. This is again same. This is but hyperbola. You can see it's minus. So when you simplify it, it'll be hyperbola. This is ellipse. Just like what we have done just now. You can solve it. And look over here now. Y is greater than x squared. So in this particular region, it's inside because it's greater. And x is greater. Again, it's inside this. Both it's inside. See? It'll be inside this and inside this. So this will be the overlapping region. If this was less than, then everything outside this. And if it is greater than or equal to, it will be solid line. Greater than is just a dashed line. So please solve it by yourself and then check for the answers. You can easily solve them up. Over here you can see the circle, which is outside, and ellipse is inside, and this is how we can solve it. Try to solve all into standard form and then graph them easily. See which is the correct option among the 4 options given to you. There are a few more cases where the absolute value can be asked. In this case over here, absolute value function is there. Now, again, it is very simple. You need to find the center. So whatever is outside the absolute value is for the y-axis. What is this? Plus 2. So that means 1, 0, 1, 2. So the y value will be somewhere over here, the vertex. Now, what is the x value? X value is whatever is inside the absolute, that is the 2 dashes, So this is the magnitude symbol or absolute symbol. So whatever is inside over here, if it's minus 2, you need to take it as plus 2. So the x value is not minus 2, it's 1, 2, plus 2. This y is over here. So this is the vertex. This is how we understand. And now this sign tells us where it opens up. It's going upwards or downwards. It'll always be 45 degree when the slope is 1. Now, since over here this minus sign, it'll open downwards. And over here, you can see y is less than or equal to. So, all the values below. See, now, for if it's a linear or absolute value equation, it is very simple to understand. Y is less means down, okay? All downwards. And this over here is an ellipse. but it is a vertical ellipse, and now it's less than, so everything that is inside, so all values inside it. So this is the solution region. Similarly, you can try the remaining. Over here, it's straightforward. Say this x value, y value is -6. It's minus 2, 4, 6. And x value is positive 2, so it's over here. This is the vertex, and then you can easily solve. Even if it is big over here, you can just take it to the other side, simplify and solve. You'll be able to solve. Or if it is a quadratic function, say for example this one, there are many ways to solve this graph. Some of the ways is just understanding a parabola, or now I'll take this to the other side. Okay, so it'll be x squared plus then 12x. This will become minus, so it'll be plus 24 over here remaining. And you can divide all the things by 2, or minus 2. So it'll be minus this over here, divided by 2 and divide by 2. Now over here you can go to mod phi and 3 and solve this equation, and you will get these x values over here. So you will get the solution region. So this is one more method to check your exact parabola. Whichever you have already known the graphing, so whichever is easy, just do the graphing method. And there are some cases over here where you will have no solution. See, for example, the center over here is 0 and 0. And the center over here, it is x is plus 6. So 5, 6, this is 6. And, sorry, y is 6 and x is 2, 1, 2. So this is the vertex. And the graphing, y is greater, so it goes above, and over here, circle, it's inside. So that means there is no part of the graph that touches. There's no overlapping region. So there is no solution. These are the cases. Even over here, there is no solution because you can see the vertex over here and over here, they will not touch each other. So these are the cases. Please make sure you understand the equations thoroughly and then graph them and see where is the solution region. If they overlap, there's the solution. If it does not touch each other, then there will be no solution. Moving on to the vectors. Over here, we have a simple question to find, to tell which of the quantities are vector quantities and scalar quantities. I won't go in detail, but as you may know, vector is something that has magnitude and direction, whereas a scalar is just having, magnitude. Let's see the first question. A box being pushed with a force of 125 Newton. Now, whenever you're just doing some work, say for example 125 newtons, you're pushing a box, but the direction is not mentioned, so this will be just a scalar. Whereas if a direction was mentioned, say due north or in some particular direction, then this would have been a vector quantity. Say wind blowing at 20 knots. So knots is the measurement of speed. Now over here 20 knots but no direction, so again it's scalar. Now a deer running 15 meters per second due west, it will be a vector because the direction is given and the distance is given. I mean the magnitude, the speed is given. A baseball thrown with a speed of 85 miles per hour, but it's not mentioned in which direction or where. So this will be a scalar. This was vector, scalar. Now we have 3.75 kilogram stone hanging from a rope. If you might remember, the weight will be a vector quantity. Then you can say this is a weight, so this will be vector. But otherwise, let's try to understand this. A stone is hanging from a rope. So imagine this rope and this is the stone. Okay. Now the weight is given, the magnitude is given. Now which direction does it move? The gravity is downwards, so what happens is there is a direction downwards, south, so that's why this will be a vector quantity, not a scalar. A rock thrown straight up at a velocity of 50 feet per second, this will also be a vector, direction and speed. So this is the thing. You can try a few more problems. Very straightforward topic. I hope you'll be easily getting the marks for this particular question. In this topic, we will solve real-world problems on vectors. But before we solve them, we need to know a few of the laws of sines and cosines. Now, law of cosines is very useful if a triangle which is not right angle, say now if it's a right angle triangle, you can use various formulas, say sine theta, cos theta, or the Pythagoras theorem, and find the details. But when it's not a right angle triangle, you can use law of cosines or law of sines to find the sides or the angles. Now, if all the sides are known and no angle is known, like all the angles are unknown, law of cosine can help you to find any of the angle. So that is very useful. Or if two sides and the included angle is known, then the opposite side can be found out by law of cosines. I hope you remember this. If you consider this angle A, the opposite side would be A as well. The opposite side is very important. They both are, uh, are considered like a team, because now imagine you're finding this side, A squared. Then you should know the opposite angle. See, the cos A must be known and the included angle and the sides. So b square c square minus 2bc cos A. So this is how we find it out. And even law of sines, this is also very simple. If this side A is known, divided by the opposite side, sine of A, I mean opposite angle, sine A, and b by sine B. Any two of this is used and you can find whatever is unknown. Now let's solve some real world problem. Now, a runner's resultant velocity is 8 miles per hour due west running with the wind. So now let me just draw this. Due west means over here. This is up is north, down is south, right is east, and west. So that's the thing. Now, over here they have told due west 8 miles per hour. So now let me draw this vector over here. That is 8. Now, what else is known? With a wind of 3 miles per hour north, 28 degree west. So let me north and west over here. This is 28 degrees. So, okay. Now this is the vector and that is 3. The magnitude is given. What is the runner's speed to the nearest mile per hour? See, generally they will give you, say a person is running at this speed and the wind is blowing opposite direction, the resultant will be something like this. Okay, this will be the resultant. But in this case, they have given the final result and the wind. We need to find the position of the runner. So let us see. Now, what you can do is you can obviously translate this wind. So you need to understand this is the resultant. That means this is the final position. So wind is going in this direction, isn't it? So the runner was running somewhere over here. And then because of the wind of that particular thing, he went over here. The final result was over here. So how we understand is very simple. Look at the wind's position. If the wind position was over here opposite, then that would mean the runner was upside. But no, that is not the case. The wind is going northwest. This is the direction. So I will just translate this vector over here and I will write this as to be the initial running position of the runner. Now, if we need to find this magnitude. So let me write the known details. This is 3, that's the wind. It's just translated. So now, if we know this is 28, then we can also find this. That would be 62. But now, over here, see now this angle is 62, right? We can find, see, these are the two magnitudes known. Now, what is this? What is this? This is unknown. This is the angle theta, right? Now, this can be found out because this is 62. This is 62. And these both will be same. Okay, my diagram is very bad. Let me just show you the figure over here. Say, look at this. This angle is given as 28 degrees. That's the wind. This is the given, what is that? 8 miles per hour, the final resultant. Now we will just translate it over here. And now whatever this angle was over here, this will be the same angle over here. So basically, this would be the position where he was running. And this will be theta. That is 90 minus 28, that is 62. So once you find that theta, you can easily find this distance. I mean, this magnitude. How? Using law of cosines. So let me consider this as x. So to find x, it'll be x squared equals the other two sides square. So it'll be 3 square plus 8 square minus 2 times 3 and 8 cos of the angle opposite to the unknown, that is 62. Now you can put this in calculator or just take the square root of this, put this in calculator, that would be the answer. So now look over here. So basically, I just raised this, sorry. Okay, so the person is running over here, it's considered I over here, that's fine. And then you know this angle is 62 from the figure, from the given data, and all you're doing is putting it in the law of cosines formula. Over here 8 is considered first, I consider 3 first. It's the same thing, 8 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times all this. Just put the square root and you'll get the answer. So the answer is 7.10. So now you can understand he was that particular person was uh, running at a speed of 7.1, and because of the wind he went to this direction, and the wind helped him to go, the resultant would be more. So basically because of the wind, in the direction. The same way, let's solve some other problems. Over here we have a glider is traveling at an airspeed. Glider is the one who glides in the sky at an airspeed of 15 kilometers per hour due west. So let's see the diagram over here again. East west, due west. This glider is traveling at this particular speed. If the wind is blowing at 5 kilometers in the direction of north 60-degree east, see, it's in the opposite direction now, this side. What is the resulting uh, ground speed of the glider? So now they want to know the ground speed basically. So you can see this can be translated over here, and the resultant would be this. So what happens is the resultant, how to find the resultant? You just have to find this angle. So now this much is 60 over here. Wait. So this much is 30 over here. So when you translate it over here, this will remain the same, 30. And these two, the adjacent sides are known. You can use law of cosines and solve it up. Very simple, very straightforward. And if at all they were asking the resultant, angle, then you can use law of cosines and find the angle, or you can use law of sines and find the angle. So this is how you can easily solve it up. You can try other problems as well. Over here, you can see the figure, understand what is asked, and easily solve it up. You can find the answers. The 10th topic is one of the easiest topic. Over here, they have given you vectors f, g, and h, and you need to solve them according to what they have asked you. So they have asked you 4h minus g. That means 4 times the vector h. You basically have to multiply 4 over here, and then to this vector subtract the g vector. So it's very, very straightforward. Now let me just solve one in detail. 4 times h would mean like this, and 2, so it'll be 4 times 6, 6 fours are 24, negative, and over here 4 times 2 is 8, and now this is the 4h vector. You need to subtract this from negative 3, negative 5. So all you need to do is over here minus and minus, multiply this minus sign inside, so it'll be negative for 24, 8. It'll be add, why? Because you're multiplying this inside. It'll be 3 and 5. So it'll be 24 plus 3, that would mean negative 21, and 8 plus 5 is 13. So 21 and 13 is the answer. And over here you can also, if you don't want to do that step, you can just do minus 24 minus of minus 3. It would be minus 21, and 8 minus of minus 5, that would be 8 plus 5, that is 13. So that's up to you. You'll get the same answer. The same way, just do according to what they are mentioned, and this is a very, very straightforward. Sometimes they'll be big, So just make sure you multiply that accordingly and then solve it up. So if they ask you 10g, so it'll be 10 times g, it'll be minus 30 minus 50, and then the remaining ones. So please make sure you can use your calculator as well, but just make sure you write it properly first. H over here, so don't get confused. Take the proper vector 6h, so multiply 6 over here, plus 5f, multiply 5 over here, and lastly minus 10. So don't forget the signs as well. So then just solve it all and check your answers with the solved answers. Now we move on to the part 2. The 11th to 20th question are part 2. Each of them carry 5 marks. Now the first topic over here is about finding the unknown digit in a particular matrix. They have also told that these cannot be solved using an inverse. That means the inverse does not exist. So what does that give you? What hint does it give you? If there is no inverse, that means the determinant of a matrix is 0. So then once you know the determinant of any matrix is 0, it's very simple, right, to solve. There are many methods. Now the easiest method I personally feel is find the determinant of this. Multiply the diagonals. If you have forgotten the determinants, please go back to the video number 2. Recall the video and now then watch this or continue solving it. It'll be 9 times 2 or 2n minus negative times 8 will be negative 8. Now whatever this will be equal to 0. So now will you can easily solve it. Various methods are there. Then I'll take it'll be my plus 8 equals 0, n equals, so it'll be 2n equals negative 8, n equals negative 8 by 2, or n equals negative 4. So this is the answer for this is how we solve it. So all the problems are the same method. Now let's do over here, just that there are two unknown n's, so it'll be 6 minus n times n is n squared equals 0. You can solve this in various methods, using calculator, using quadratic equation, or directly also. Now I'll take this to the other side. 6 equals n squared. So square root 6 will be plus or minus square root 6 is equal to n. So this is the answer. Or you can use the calculator over here. It'll be mod phi, and this quadratic equation is 3. And from here, whenever right side is equal to, you can solve it. What is the coefficient of x square? See, mod phi 3. It should be x square first, then x, and then the number, the coefficient of the constant. Sorry, mod phi 3. Before this, it's 1. Sorry, it's minus 1 because there's nothing. Then there is no n term or x term, so it's 0. And lastly, we have 6. The answer would be square root 6 and negative square root 6. So that is the answers. Same way over here, you can try solving it. You will get the answer. Now, over here, last one has 3n. So I'll solve this quickly. It'll be n squared minus 7, and this also will have a minus, equals 0. So it is n squared plus 7n equals 0. If you're directly solving it, you can remove the n common out, so you will remain with n plus 7 equals 0, and either n is equal to 0 or n is equal to minus 7. Or you can just put this in calculator and solve. Let me show it. Mod phi 3, the coefficient before n squared is 1, before n is 7, and there's no constant, no number, so it's 0. That is minus 7 and 0. So this is how you can easily solve them up. I hope it's clear. Just make sure you take the determinant and make it equal to 0, because inverse does not exist, and when the determinant is 0, the inverse does not exist. Now over here, we need to do linear optimization. So there are two types of problems. We will do a first problem over here. They have given an equation. You need to find the maximum and minimum value. These are the constraints. Now, this is not difficult, it's easy, but it takes a lot of time. That's the problem. But anyways, now let's see. You need to graph, or you need to understand the basics of graph. Without understanding where the line falls, you won't be able to solve. So let me solve this first. So best method is point slope form, point slope method. So let me get this into point slope. Now, the first equation is having y and x. All the others are just having y or x, so it's simple. Leave them, only this one. Get in terms of y equals mx plus b. So what do we do? Y, leave it over here, equals x to the other side will be minus 2x plus b is 18. This less than or equal to, you can just make it as equal to for now. That means 18. See, the y-intercept is 18. Somewhere over here, if 18 is over here, then negative 2x. The slope is negative, so it goes down. If it was positive, it'll go up. Sorry, it'll go upwards. Down is negative slope. So it's something like this. Okay. Now, what is the other things? They have told y is less than. So let me tell you one thing. If I have a straight line, that is for x, greater than would mean right side, less than would mean left side. Left is less, right is great. Now, if I have a flat line, horizontal line, greater would be up, less would be down. Now, if I have a slanted line, say for example, over here, y is less than or equal to minus 2x. So this over here, less would mean down. See, touch this point, it should go down. This side is the solution region. If it was greater over here, it would be upwards. So these are few basic things to understand. I'm sure most of you know this already. Now, y is equal to 6. So this was 18. So 6 would be, this is 9, somewhere over here. I'll draw a straight line. Y is equal to 6 and y is equal to 0. Now, here the solution is less than 6. So anything inside this and greater than 0. Same way, y is less than 8 and greater than 0. So, see, the thing is, I've not drawn this graph properly. So let me just, I know for sure 0 is over here. This, it's not going to touch this line. And greater than 0. So x would be somewhere over here. Okay. And y over here is less than or equal to. So this is the solution region, everything within this. So this would be the final solution region. So much over here. Let's just check the exact one. Yes, it is somewhat right. You can see this, and this. So now, this is the approximate to understand. This you can just get in 2 minutes, you know. Once you practice few problems, you will be able to understand only one of this equation. See, in all the problems, only one of this needs to be solved in the slope-intercept form and understand where it's going. Because in my method now, which I'm telling, I'm not teaching the long method. There's a short method. This much is enough, understanding the basics of the graphs. Now, you know from this basic understanding that this particular line will be touching 2 points. That is, this flat line, that is the 6, y is equal to 6, and x is less than 8. So it's going to touch this and this. So these two lines are being touched. Now, the most important thing is you need to find all the endpoints of the solution region. So the solution region is over here. The endpoints, one is over here, 0 and 0. One more is this point, that is 0, 6. One more would be 0, 8. And these 2 points. Now, I don't know these 2 points. Without graphing exactly and accurately, I won't be able to deduce these points. But I will tell you an easy method. Now, since we know from the basic understanding of graphs that this particular line will touch 6 and 8, that is from here, I know it's going to touch this y is equal to 6 and y is equal to 8. It may even touch over here, but just start with these two lines, the bigger lines, not the 0, 0. Now, okay, let me just keep that. Take out your calculator. You can solve the x and y points using mode, phi, and 1. you need to solve simultaneous equations, two simultaneous equations. That's mode phi. Look over here. The first value must be x, second must be y, and then the right side of equal to must be the number. So let's solve the first equations. What is the coefficient of x over here? That's 1. Coefficient of x is 2. Coefficient of y is 1, and the number is 18. Let me take the second. What is the coefficient of x? There's nothing, so it's 0. Coefficient of y is 1, and lastly it's 6. So when you press equal to, you're going to get the endpoint 6 comma 6. So this is one endpoint over here, I believe. Yes, it's 6 comma 6. And what about the other endpoint? We came from this basic graph that it's going to touch the x at 8. So the first equation remains same. X is 2, the coefficient of x is 2, y is 1, 18. The x value over here is 8. Sorry, I'm sorry, it's not 8, it's 1. Y value is 0, and over here the coefficient is 8. In the last one, x was 0, y was 1, and the number was 6. Over here it changes. And now x is 8 and y is 2. So 8 comma 2. So this is the thing. Now, from this point over here, these are the only, let me draw it in black, only these two are the points which is hard to find. Whereas all the other endpoints, this we know, y value is 6, so it is 0, comma 6. Okay, this is one endpoint. Center is 0, 0, this is the beginning point. Over here it is x is 8, comma 0, y. But the other 2 points can be found out by calculator. Let's see, let's just compare. Say 0, 0, 8, comma 2, 0, comma 6, 8, comma 0, and lastly 6, comma 6. This is the way you can easily solve it up. And now once you know all the endpoints over here, just put the x and y values in this equation and find which is the maximum value. So what you do is, this is the x value, right? Put instead of x as 0 and instead of y as 0 and solve. The answer is 0. Next, put x as 8, 4 into 8 plus y is 2, so 2 into 2 and solve it up. I think so it's done over here. You can see all the endpoints needs to be substituted in the given function. And now you can see there are two maximum values and one minimum. So now see which are the maximum values. See, the maximum values are these 2 points, isn't it? So it's 8 comma 2, that's over here, and 6 comma 6. So whenever you can directly by heart this, whenever it's on the particular line, which is the slanting line, if the maximum value is on this line, that means all of this region is going to be maximum. That means all of this region. You can try some other point and put it in this equation. You will get 36 as the answer. So the final answer would be, see, this is the thing, right? The maximum the maximum value is 36, at which on every point on this particular equation, that's this line, y plus 2x equals 18, from 6 to 8 is in this particular graph in the solution region. Why? Because this was 6 comma 6, right? X value was 6 and this was 8. From 6 to 8 in this particular line, all the points are the solution region. This is how we basically solve it up. Even the other ones are same, only one will be unknown, like I mean x and y, and then all the others are very easy. So just draw a basic graph. Okay, draw a basic graph. This will be, again, it'll be slanting, it'll be something like this. So you need to use the equation mod phi 1, and x is 1, y is 2, number is 16. And what about this? X is 0 over here, y is 1, and the number is 2, constant is 2. X is 12 and y is 2. So that is where it touches. So you need to use that as endpoints, and similarly. But before that, just make sure you draw this graph properly. So y greater than 2 and x greater than 3. So this would be the solution region, I believe. you need to draw this properly, and then you need to solve it up, all the three endpoints. So if at all you get confused by this method, just make sure, if you're not able to find the endpoints, make sure you graph it properly. I'm sure by now you know graphing. Graph all these equations, graph all these equations. Only one is the difficult, these are just straight lines. Y less than 3, it's a very easy. When y is there, just a straight line. Where x is 4, just a straight line. It's very, very easy to draw these. Only one equation will be difficult. You need to write it in terms of y is equal to mx plus b and graph it. You can make the table and graph or however you like. So that's the thing over here. Check, do it by yourself and check the answers. You can find it out easily. And then over here, the graph displays the constraints. Now over here, a graph is given and they're asking which of this is wrong. Let's quickly see this. Y is greater than or equal to 0. The shaded region is the solution. So y is greater than or equal to 0 is correct. Yes. Y is greater than or equal to x. Sorry. Y is greater than or equal to 0. This is the one. Okay. Yes. Solution region is the right side. Correct. X is greater than or equal to 0. Yes. Uh, Again, no, sorry. I'll just make it proper. Y is greater than or equal to 0. That means, let me draw it another color. Y point is over here. Draw a straight line and draw arrow up. Yes, this is correct. Now, next, x is greater than or equal to 0. Draw a straight line. Right. Is the solution region at the right side? Yes, this is also correct. Now, over here, let me just take this y to the other side. It'll be x less than or equal to y, or it's much easier to write y first. Y is greater than or equal to x. So now y is equal to x is this particular line. It's a slant line. Now y is greater than or equal to x. Is it greater than? No, this is wrong. Whereas let's see, x will be greater than or equal to y, or y is less than or equal to x. See, this is correct. Y is greater than or equal to x. It should go down, not up. So the wrong one, which does not belong to the constraint, is this option C. So option C cannot be one of the constraint. All the others are within the solution. Only this particular option, which says the shaded region must be upwards, which is wrong. It is downwards. The 13th topic is to graph parabolas. Now, graphing parabola can be done various methods: table method, finding the vertex form, or standard form, plenty of methods. Now, over here, sorry, I moved ahead. Over here, in some of the equations, they have given the standard form, some they have given general form. Doesn't matter which form it is, there are methods, many methods. Say, for example, this is the standard form. Over here, you will have four options, four graphs will be there. Look, what is the vertex? From here, h and k, you can easily find the vertex. The h value over here is 4. If it's minus, it'll be plus. So just take the positive part. K, whereas the entire part is minus 6. So let's see. X is 4, 2, 4, okay? And then go down by negative 6. That is 1, 2, 4, 6. Yes, this is the vertex. This is correct. And now you can easily graph this up. Or, okay, and there's one more thing. It's plus, so it'll open upwards. Okay, same thing over here. You can see the vertex is minus 5 and 3. So it's 2, 4, minus 5. 2, 3. This is 3. So then over here, it's opening upwards. But there's one more easy method which can be used for literally any of the graphs, to get any graphs. So what you can do is, see, this is the graph. There will be four options. Take some values within the graph range. See, I will take 2, number 2, okay? Take 2, x as 2, put over here. 2, sorry, open the bracket, 2 minus 4 the whole square minus 6. Now what happens? The y value is minus 2. Let's check. Is the y value minus 2? Over here, minus 2. Yes, this is the correct one. Now, same way you can change the value. Say I will take 3, x as 3, and then you will get minus 5. See over here, 3 is over here. When x is 3, yes, it is somewhat minus 5. So if you take accurate scale, you will get the exact answers. So this is one way to check the correct answers. Take any point in the graph. If you want, even I can take 8. So put instead of x 8, and what is the answer? 10. So you can see it would be 10, 8, 10. So that's the thing. Same over here. It's just the equation is different. 4 multiplied by x is, say for example, minus 4 over here. So minus 4 plus 5, depending on the equation, plus 3. Now what is the answer? 7. So minus 4, is it 7? So yes, it is supposed to be 7. It's somewhere over here. It is very close. You can take some more values. I just changed the value to minus 5 as well. It's 5 now, and you're getting 3. Yes, that's correct. So this is one way. Now, one more way would be, see, now this is general form. So what you can do is go to mod 5 and 3 and solve this equation. It will be minus 3, minus 4, minus 8. And now, okay, there is imaginary solution. That means there is no solutions. And yes, that's correct. There is no solution. It does not touch the x-axis. So that's the thing. And then what you can do is just take some x values. Say I will take x value of 0. So now substitute 0 over here. Everywhere in this equation, the answer will be minus 8. And check it. Yes, it will be minus 8. Then you can take minus 1. Put everywhere over here minus 1. Check the value. It must match. And since it's minus over here, it will open downwards. Similar thing for the other side also, nothing changes the same way. In this case, take y values. Say I'll take y value over here for 1 and substitute, you will get the x value in the calculator. And it's positive, so it opens right side, and it's x equals 3y square, so it's horizontal orientation. So this is how you can easily graph, or you can use any of the graphing method. Ultimately, the graph will be the same. In this topic, we have to write equations of circles. Equations of circles are one of the easiest among all the other conic sections because circle is easy to understand, interpret, and solve. Now, over here, we must remember the standard form. Circle standard form is x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square. This is radius, h and k is the center, and x and y are the coordinates. X and y in the equation, you don't write x and you don't change this. Write x as it is minus whatever the center is. Imagine this was 1 comma 1, then it will be minus 1 the whole square plus y minus 1 the whole square equals r squared. Depends on what is the radius. If it was radius was 5, then r squared would be 25. Now one important thing to remember over here, see, if the h is positive 1, then over here it will be minus 1 because the sign is there minus. K is 1, over here it will be minus 1. But let me change this to minus 1 and minus 1. Just imagine h and k was minus 1, minus 1. Then minus and minus becomes plus, and it will be plus 1. So easy way to remember is whatever is the center, when you write in the equation, opposite sign. If it's minus, over here it'll be plus. If it's plus over here, it'll be then minus over here. So with that knowledge, we can easily solve. If at all the center is at 0, 0, then this h and k is 0, 0, and you will get the simplified equation. That's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So now then, we will solve few problems. See, the center is given of a circle. Center, if this is a circle, the center is minus 3, comma 1. And they have told it passes through point 2, comma minus 1. So somewhere 2 and minus 1 over here, it passes through this point. Now, so it can be any point, anywhere in a circle. If a point is given, that can be considered as x and y. This over here center is always h and k. Now we know the standard form over here. This is the standard form of the circle, equation of the circle. What is required? We require hk, that is given. But unknown thing is r, radius. How do we solve for radius? Substitute all the values over here. H, k, radius 2, x and y 2 and minus 1. Substitute in this equation and then solve for radius. See, I'll show you. It'll be x is how much? 2. This is minus, so it'll be plus over here, plus 3 the whole square, plus minus 1. Here it's 1, so it'll be minus 1 equals r square. Solve this up. You can use calculator or you can do it in your mind easily. 2 plus 3 is 5 square, plus minus 1 will become minus 2 the whole square equals r square. Here you have to use brackets because this square, this minus becomes to positive. 5 square is 25 plus 2 square is 4 equals r square. It's 29. R square is 29, or r is square root 29. So over here when we solve we get 29. So the equation of the circle is center is given, minus 3 and 1. Radius is root of 29, or r square is 29. Now substitute back in this particular equation. Say x, this minus and minus becomes plus 3 whole square, y minus 1 the whole square equals 29. This is the equation. That is it. So this is how we solve it. Now same way you can solve the others. Now this one is very simple, the same thing. Remember, now we are x and y is these two, and this is h and k. Substitute and you'll get it. Now over here in the second problem, over here you need to substitute and find r and then substitute in the equation. That's it. Second problem is again very similar, but they have told it passes through the origin. See, imagine this is the coordinate. The center is negative, so it's over here somewhere, something like this. And that circle is passing through the origin point, something like this. This origin is touched. So that means x and y are 0, 0 origin. So over here in the problem when we solved, see this x would be 0, y would be 0, and then solve for r. That's it. That's how you do it. And now we can look over here. The center was always important. 9 becomes minus 9, minus 8 becomes plus 8. Same thing over here, and you can see that. And this radius is found out. That's the only thing. Now this is interesting. Center at is given. Center is given. But they have told tangent to y-axis. Let me draw a coordinate plane. Y-axis is over here. What does it mean to be a tangent? Tangent means the circle is having a center, right? 8 minus 9, somewhere over here, okay? X is 8. Let me take this as 8 and this as minus 9. Okay, this is 8. So this is a point. This is the center, okay? H and K. Now the circle is tangent to y-axis means it will touch only at one point. Say something like this, but it touches this y-axis at one point. So whatever is this center h comma k, that is 8 comma minus 9, right? Now this point over here will be touched, that is x will be 0. What is the x value? It's 0 comma y value is minus 9. These are the 2 points. You will always get this. Now if at all it's y-axis, the x will be 0 and y-axis will be the same as the center. So now let me solve it. X minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square. Now over here, what is x? X is 0. Minus, what is h? H is the center. So it is given over here 8 in the question, minus 8 the whole square plus, what is y? Y is minus 9. Over here, when it's minus, it becomes plus. So change the sign. Whole square equals r square. Now what happens? Minus 9 plus 9 is 0. This cancels. 0 square is 0. Minus 8 the whole square is 64. That is equal to r square. R is equal to 8. So the radius over here is 8. It's very obvious to understand why. See, this is the tangent, right? This is the center. This is the tangent. How much is the radius from the center to this point? X value. That is the answer, 8. So this is the thing. Now, if they tell tangent to y-axis, you must take this as the radius, r. So r square will be directly 64. Now you can see the equation. Center x minus 8 whole square plus y plus 9 whole square equals 64. Why? Because it's tangent to y-axis. The center, whatever is there from the center, the x value is the radius. Now the next one, tangent to x-axis. Let us see this. It's 2 and 4. So it's something like this. The value over here, can you see this x-axis? The center is over here. Imagine this the center. It is tangent to the x-axis. See, this is the thing. So now you must understand this is the radius. In the last problem, x was the radius. Why? Because y-axis was the tangent. But now x-axis is the tangent. It's flat. You need to see the vertical height. Because x is flat, what is vertical? This is the y value. This is the radius. So r is 64. R square is 16. Now I'll repeat this again. If it's y-axis, see, y-axis tangent means this is straight. So the circle you need to go like this, x value. Whereas if it's tangent to x-axis, it touches the x-axis, what is the height? So y will be the consideration. That is how we can solve it. It's all straightforward. Now over here, the center, this is another tricky question. They have given the center of this circle. Wait, let me do it properly. Oh God. Now this is much better. The center is in the first quadrant, somewhere over here. I hope you remember this is first quadrant, this is second, this is third, and this is fourth quadrant. Now, a circle can be divided into 4. So now first quadrant is 90 degrees, second 90, and so on. So now the center over here is somewhere over here in the first quadrant. But they have told, see, it's tangent to x is equal to phi. Imagine this is phi. Now, if that is phi, so let me just draw a dot. Oh God. Over here. So now, okay, that is much better. I'm sorry for my drawings. And now x is equal to phi over here. And they have also told it's tangent to x-axis and y-axis. So which is x-axis? This is the axis x. And this is y. So they're telling the circle. See now, it'll touch one point over there. Touching one point over here and one point over here. And that is the circle. So now if you understand this, you can easily know. So what you can understand is this is phi, right? So this is phi. The total distance is phi. How much is it from the center? So total over here is phi. This will be half. That is 2.5. And over here also it will be 2.5. This is the thing. So I will write it over here. X, sorry, center. I'll write the center. It will be 2.5. Sorry, the radius. I mean, it'll be 2.5 the whole square. Now, what about the other thing? So we know this is phi, radius is 2.5. So from here to here, what is the distance? That is also the radius 2.5. So x value is 2.5. Y value is also 2.5. Why? Because the radius is equal everywhere. If this is 2.5, this is 2.5. Every part of the radius is 2.5. So we can get the center is 2.5 comma 2.5. So let's see the answer. It will be over here x minus 2.5, y minus 2.5, and this is 2.5 square. That is it. Same way you can solve the next one. Over here they have given you y1. See, y1 is somewhere over here. y5 and the y-axis. See, the center is in the second quadrant, but it's tangent like this. Sorry. So imagine this is the center. It's tangent to the y equals 1, y equals 5. So what is the total diameter? It is 4, so radius will be 2. So this is how we can easily solve. So radius is 2 over here. And okay, sorry, This is fine. But what is the center? That will be x. See, x value will be 1 2. It's very simple because the radius is 2, but y value varies. See, y value is 1 2, but this 1 is also included. See, because y starts from 1, so it is 1 2 and 3. So this is the difference. And since it's in the second quadrant, x value, that 1 2, will be minus 2, y value will be positive 3. So over here, x value is minus 2, y is positive 3. So h k, it is minus 2 and 3. So when we write in the equation, it will be x plus 2, y minus 3 equals r square. R is 2, 2 square. And that's how we can solve this. Very straightforward. Solve it by yourself and then check for the answers. The 15th topic is to graph ellipses. Now we will go through the standard forms and formulas. If the center is 0 and 0, the standard form is over here mentioned. The length of major axis is always 2a and minor axis is always 2b. The orientation is horizontal like this if the bigger value is below x square. I imagine there is 65 and 35. If the bigger value is below x square, it's horizontal. But if bigger value is below y square and the smaller value is below x square, then it will be vertical like this. We will see them, but just be thorough with this formula. But if the center is h and k, look over here, this changes, See, all this changes because you have to add the center, and there's also change in the vertices, co-vertices, and especially foci. If they ask you foci, what happens is you need to add, if it's horizontal, you need to, whatever c value you get, you need to add the h value. That is the x value of the center. But if it's vertical like this, you need to add the k value to the c value. We will solve a problem, you'll understand much better. And this is the thing, the center changes, so all that will be added. Now over here, before going, you can see through this, you can observe it for a while, you can pause the video, go through this figure, go through the formulas. This is an important formula. A is the major axis, B is the minor axis, C is the foci. And since A is the biggest value over here, that's the vertices, A is the biggest, co-vertices is B, and C over here is the foci. You can solve for A squared by Pythagoras theorem, B squared plus C squared. So this is the thing. Or if you want, say for example, C square, C value, all you need to do is a square minus b square and take the square root, that will be c. That's Pythagoras theorem. So this is how we solve it up. Now we will see a problem over here. It is very easy and straightforward. Uh, Understand which orientation it is. Look, x below it's 36, below y it's 128, so it is a vertical orientation, something like this. Now after that, what is the center? H value is 3, K value is 2. So center is obtained easily. Since it is the 15th problem, you have MCQs in this. Say you will have many options. So now once you get the center over here, it's much easier. See now 1 2 3 1 2. So this particular graph is having the center over here. If at all a graph was over here, it's wrong, or down, wrong. You can easily eliminate the wrong options because you need to graph them, right? Now, one more thing, I'll remind you again. The methods I'm teaching you are easy and short. They are not the exact method which were taught during the regular classes throughout your term 2. So otherwise, there are many methods you can simplify, solve, and you can graph and different methods by making table or vertices and all that. Now this is because you have options, you can eliminate the other options and easily come to the conclusion. So this is a method which saves time for you. Now over here, the center is found out from the equation. Now, what about the a the this is the major axis. This is the major axis. Now, 2a or a value, that is the major axis value. All you need to do is square root of this. Square root 128 will give you 11.31. This is the major axis. Sorry, this is not the major axis. This is A value. Major axis is always given by 2A. Let me just go back over here. See, length of major axis always 2 times A. It is not just A. Okay, the major axis, the entire length from here, not only to the center, the entire one. So it's 2A. Minor is 2B. So over here, if they ask you for the major or the minor, all you need to do is square root of the bigger value and multiply it by 2. Because this is A multiplied by 2, you will get 22.62. That is the major axis. Minor axis is similar. Root of 36 is 6. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. So square root 36 multiplied by, go out of the square root and multiplied by 2, it's 12. This is how we get it. We got the center 3 and 2. Now, what about the foci? Now, we had seen the formula over there. A square equals B square plus C square. C is foci. Okay, but now since the centers are not same, C won't be directly the answer, but let's solve for C. Various methods are there to solve. Now you can directly put in the values of A square. See, A square is 128. And then you can press equal to B square is 36 plus unknown value square, shift and solve. You will get the answer, that is 9.591. So now C is equal to 9.59. Okay, let me write it this much. But if we go back, see carefully over here when the center is at H and K, the foci is, see now vertical values, the K value is added by the C value and K value is subtracted by the C value, focus points. So what happens over here is, sorry, back over here. Now I got the C value 9.59, isn't it? So the answer is 9.59. I need to add 2. That'll be 11.59. So 1 is 11.59. X value will remain the same. We saw it in the formula. Similarly, 9.59 minus 2 will be 7.59. So this is the another value. So this now over here, if you're thinking why it's minus, you need to analyze this. The focus, the center over here is 3 and 2. It's over here. Sorry, it's over here. So one focus point is somewhere over here. That is at 11.59. Okay. One more focus point will be over here, negative axis. So that is minus 7.59. Okay. And the major axis was this entire length. Minor axis is this length. Center is known. And then with all this information, you can easily graph it up. Now again, instead of going through all these things, you don't need to go through all these things. Just from the center, you can reduce the options to very less. Maybe once you come to know the center, you can eliminate few of the options. Then, well, after knowing the center, what next? Next, all you can do is find the major and the minor axis. Now, if I start counting from here to here, it will be 22.6 on average. And over here, if I count the, see over here, if I count, let's count over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And this is 1. And over here, initial, there is 1. So it's 12. So total value is 12. So this is the minor axis. I know the vertical orientation is there. So only one graph can have the major, minor axis, vertical orientation, and the center same. So that is your answer. You do not even need to do all the other things because you will already be given with the options. Same way over here. Look, the center is minus 6. So left, minus 6 left side, and positive 3, that's over here. Somewhere over here will be the center. Sorry, this point. And then you can solve for the major axis, minor axis, and just like what we have done over here, we can solve it. All these problems are same and they are very easy. Over here, the x value is at 0. In this case, the y value is at 0. All are vertical orientation. Now coming over here. So these problems, you can do it by completing the square method. When you do completing the square method, your equation, see now a general form equation will be reduced to standard form of an ellipse. But now I'll just tell you one more simple shortcut method if you don't want to, do the completing the square method. You will have four graphs, isn't it? How do you solve it? So what you must do is you need to try to reduce this. I mean, you need to choose x values and find the y values. Okay? So we can do it for any of the graph. This will always work. So you can see this is the graph. Let's take some x values. You can choose any graph x values. So I will take now for 0, x is 0. So for x is 0, there are two y values, this and this. So I will put everywhere x as 0. If I put 0, this is gone. This is also gone. I'm remaining with y square minus 8y minus 5 equals 0. This is a quadratic equation. I can solve it by mod 5 and 3. Let me put the values 1, minus 8 and minus 5. And what is the answer? 8.58. Let's see, at 0, x is 0. Yes, it is at 8.5. Yes, 8.58. And what about the next one? Minus 0.58. Yes, this is about, see, this is 2 units. So half is 1 and less than that is about negative 0.6. So yes, this is correct. We can even try for other values. Say, let's take this point over here, middle of this. It's 1. We should get this point and this point. So all x values becomes 1. So what happens over here? This is 3 minus 6 minus 5. Let's solve this. Over here it will be minus 3 minus 5. It will be minus 8. So what is remaining? It will be y square minus 8y minus 8. Only the last term changes. This is equal to 0. We will put this in quadratic equation. See? Over here, same 1 minus 8, but this last one becomes minus 8. And let's see the changes. 8.89, is it correct? Yes, it's almost 9. Yes, this is right. And over here we have minus 8.89. Yes, this is almost minus 1. So this is how we can solve it up. So this is a direct method. You can take many values. See over here, you can take 0, 1, 2, 3. You can take few, not one, take 2 to 3 values maximum. Within that, you can easily understand which is the correct graph and which is the wrong. Because when you start doing that, you can eliminate all the other graphs. Otherwise, you can quickly do the completing the square method and also solve it. It's one and the same. You will get, once you do completing the square method for this equation, you will get the equation like this. And then whatever we saw, I just explained a while ago, can be employed and easily the graphs can be found out. The 16th topic is to solve systems of equations. Here there is linear, non-linear, and different type of equations. So I won't tell you the normal, the regular method. I'm sure you might have gone through this in your regular classes throughout the term, where you need to simplify each term, put it back into the equations and solve it up. It's just lengthy. So there is one more method. Instead of doing all that long method, since you'll be given options, 4 options, you can see the 4 options and then try to find the correct answer. So say for example, this is one type of problem where you have a linear term like power 1 terms and power 2 terms. So you will have 4 options. You need to do a trial and error method over here. So take this 4 and put it in the equation. So what happens over here? 8. Now y is unknown. So what I do is I have to put alpha and x. This is like an unknown variable. Don't think this is x. This is for y that is unknown. We need to find it. Equals minus 10 times x value. Let's take it as 4. Now you can't press equal to, you need to press shift and solve, and the answer is minus 5. Okay, now this is not it. You need to put it in the next equation as well. Now before that, let me try the other one also. Okay, let me just go back over here and let me try minus 4 over here. Minus 4, shift and solve. You're getting 5. So this particular equation is true for these values. Whereas in the other options, only one will be the correct option. So they might give you 4 comma minus 6. So that is wrong because you're getting 5 or minus 5. So this is correct for this equation, but that's not it. You need to try it for the other equation as well, because sometimes the option may work in one and not in the other. So let's double check it. Now over here, the thing is all both are squared, so whatever answer you get will be plus or minus automatically. So now I'll take alpha x squared equals, sorry, I do not need to do that. I can just solve this as a quadratic over here. Y squared equals, substitute the 4. So 4 squared is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, minus 7. This is equal to 25. Okay. Now y squared is equal to 25. What is y? Y is plus or minus 5. That's it. Same thing can be done over here. But if you want in the calculator, you will just get single answer. That's the thing. Otherwise, you have to use mod 5 and 3 and then solve it. You will get both the answers. So yes, this is correct. But now let's try, for example, these. Now over here, say. So what do we do is, now, sorry, this is, okay, let's try this one because you will have 4. Because the first 4 are just the same, like what I just now did. But this one is interesting over here. See, here you have y squared, x squared, y squared, x squared. So first, let us take x value. You can do it in calculator, but I'll just do it manually over here. Y squared will remain minus 2 into 2 squared. That must be equal to 8. So let us solve what is y squared. Y squared will be equal to 8 minus 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. But this goes to the other side, it'll be plus 8. Y squared equals 8 plus 8 is 16. Y is equal to plus or minus 4. See, when we put the option of 2, we get, for 2, we get either 4 or minus 4. Yes, this checks good. Now, it's not over. You need to try this even for the next equation. And you must get the correct answers, otherwise it's wrong. Let me try it over here. 3y squared plus 2 squared equals 52. What I did, I put this 2, x as 2 in the first equation, and I got 4 minus 4. Okay, that's promising. But you need to try to put this 2 even in the next equation. Instead of x squared, put the 2 squared and solve. I'll have 3y squared equals this. This is 4, but when it goes to the other side, it'll become minus. So 52 minus 4 is 48. Now y squared will be equal to 48 divided by 3. It'll be 15, 16. And again, so this is 16. You're getting y equals plus or minus 4. So now over here, even when I put x in this equation, I'm getting 4 and minus 4. Yes, this is correct. Now even try the next one. Okay, just try putting minus 2. It will be the same. Why? Because you're squaring. So minus 2 the whole square and 2 the whole square. What is the answer? It's the same thing. It's 4 and minus 4. So yes, this is the correct answer. All the others would have been wrong. So that's the thing. And if you don't get any answer, say you don't get any answer, then it'll be no solution. And even you can look at the graphs. Now what is this? This is a circle with the radius 4. Now this is an ellipse. Okay, you need to divide by 20, so it'll be, it'll be bigger. When you try to find the a value, b values, you'll realize it's bigger, so you'll never get a solution, or it'll not intersect. That's the thing. Or you can try with the options and you'll get it. Same thing over here, all these are same. You can try it by yourself. See over here, it's minus root 3 and root 3. Just try in one of this, square it, just write it out, or write at least one of the equations so it's easier. It's easier to solve it manually, because in your calculator, if you do as x squared, the problem is you'll just get a one answer. Why? Because it doesn't consider both the roots. But when you solve, say if I'll just show you what I mean. Say x squared is equal to 16. So shift and solve. I just get 4. Really, it's plus or minus 4. You should use mod 5 and 3, then you will get plus or minus 4. So it's better to write it out, then understand, then substitute, and then solve. you will easily understand which is the correct answer. In this topic, we have parametric equations. We have to convert them to rectangular form and graph them. Now, converting the rectangular form means, see, you can see the equation is in terms of a different parameter. X is equal to 2t. T is a different parameter altogether. So, what do we do is, we have to write everything in terms of this. First, we need to try to get in terms of x and y only. How do we do that is, there are plenty of methods to solve this. One of the ways is seeing where is the square. If both the sides have t squared, it's unlikely, but if then you can just start anyhow. But over here, you can see y is equal to t square is there. So if you start to simplify t over here, you will have a square root on the other side. To avoid it, what you do is, whichever has t square, leave it like that for now. Take the other equation. This is x equals 2t minus 5. What do you do now is, get the equation in terms of t. Take 5 to the other side, it will be x plus 5 is equal to 2t, and divide this by 2. So you will get, divide both the sides, x plus 5 divided by 2 is equal to t. Now, t value is x plus 5 divided by 2. So what do you do over here? Y equals, open the bracket, x plus 5 divided by 2 the whole square. Is this clear? So what you're doing is, this t value you're just substituting over here. Now it's in terms of x. Then plus 4. This is enough. You can simplify further on. Apply the x plus 5 the whole square formula. It'll be 2 squared down, and then all that can be done. Or just leave it over here. It's fine. This is the rectangular form. Rectangular form means you have x and in terms of x and y. Now we are graphing of this is there. How do we graph this? We have learned it in the previous videos. There is a simple way to graph all of this. See, this has coefficient of positive a, okay? So it will open upwards. Now y is equal to x plus x squared, ultimately it's x squared, so it will be opening upwards, positive sign over here. What else can you do is just take some random values. Say now, I'll take a random value of this, say minus 10 over here, and substitute instead of x as minus 10. Open the bracket, let's do this. Minus 10 instead of x plus 5 divided by 2 the whole square plus 4. The answer over here is 10.25. Let's see, it will be just over 10, I guess. It's 10.25. The scales are huge, so that is the answer. Same, we can try something else. Minus 5. Let's try over here minus 5. And it is 4, and that's the vertex, minus 5 over here. And so on. You can just take few other values, try it. Within 2 to 3 values, you'll understand which is the correct graph in your options. So you'll have 4 graphs. You can select the correct graph easily. Same way you can do this. Now over here in this case, you can see over here there is t square on x. You can try simplify this and you'll get a square root and all, but instead of that you can simplify the right side. Get y in terms of t, like see this equation, solve for t. Y divided by 5 is equal to t. Now substitute this over here. It'll be x is equal to y by 5 the whole square minus 2. That is x is equal to y by 25, y square by 25 minus 2. Or this is enough. And then now all you can do is, see over here, graph this. You know how to graph. In this you need to take the y values. It's all jumbled, so I'll just write it over. Okay. That was a, it's y squared by 25 minus 2, so let me write it over here. Y squared divided by 25 minus 2. This is x. So take some y values over here. Let me take 0, and over here if it's 0 it will be minus 2. X should be minus 2. Yes. Let me take 4. So over here instead of y, all I do is take 4 square divided by 25 minus 2. What is the answer? Minus 1.36. Let me see at 4. It's over here. Yeah, it is. See, minus 1 is over here. It's more than minus 1. And this is the approximate answer. So this is how you can easily find it out, you know. So over here, when y was 0, sorry, when y was 0, you found this. You can try, for example, when y is 4 or 2, and try to get at least one or two values, up to three values. Easily you can determine which is the graph. Same way this one is over here. You can find it. And this just continues. The same method is employed everywhere. And one thing, what I told was, if you see t square over here at y, leave this. Whichever has square, just leave it, leave it. Do the simplification, getting t equals to into the other form. See, I would do x by 5 and then substitute over here. Because if you try to solve, see, for example, in the previous problem, if I try to solve x over here, this in terms of t, I'll get x minus 1 equals t squared, and I'll get a square root. You know, when I simplify this, it'll just be complicated. It's fine, you can get the answer, no problem, but it's better to avoid that. So simplify the right side, which doesn't have square. Simplify that in terms of t is equal to, and substitute where there is square. So this is how you can easily solve the graphing of parametric equations. Here in the 18th topic, we will write vector as a linear combination of unit vectors as I and j vectors. Now here this is very simple topic. All you need to know is they'll be giving you the initial and terminal points. D is the initial, terminal is the E point. So the first initial is always 1, x1. This would be x2. Same thing with y1, y2. Before we write it as a linear combination, we need to find the component form. Component form basically is, x2 minus x1. That is the difference in the x terms and the y terms. So you will get it as x2 minus x1. That'll be the second term minus the first one. It is 5 minus 4. And same thing with y. It is minus 7 minus of minus 1. This is it. So you will get 1, and over here you will get minus 6. So this is the component form. If you want to write it as vectors of I and j, all you need to do is add I and j over here without the brackets. So what it would mean is I minus 6j, because we got 1 and minus 6. 1 and minus 6, that's it. So now then over here in the next problem, same thing. Minus 7 minus 9, that would mean minus 16. And same thing with the other thing. 2 minus of minus 6 would be 2 plus 6, that'll be 8. So minus 16 and 8. Just remember, you can do it directly and write I and j. Same way you can try the other problems and check your answers. All the answers are solved. Now here you can see the initial and the terminal points are the same vector. So that means there's no difference, so it is basically 0. The angle of the vectors can be easily found out by following a simple formula. Here we have been asked to find angle and between the two vectors, and the component form of the vectors are given. Whenever we see like this, they are the component forms. The formula is just this. Cos theta is equal to u dot product v divided by the magnitude of u multiplied with the magnitude of v. So what this means is very simple. You need to find the dot product. I hope you remember the dot product. Dot product is very simple. The x component multiplies with the x component plus this multiplied with this, the y with the y component. But the magnitude again is given by the formula square root of both the components, that is x square plus y square. That's it. That's basically, if you have the component form, it's very simple. So now all you need to do is multiply the first term. 6 times minus 4 is minus 24, plus 2 times 3 is 6, divided by, now over here if you're wondering how this came, it is just by square root of 6 square plus 2 square, and sorry, and that is, now over here you get the more simplified form. I hope you understand that this over here root 40 can be written as 4 into 10, 4 into 10, and then 4 can be taken out, square root, it comes out of the square root as 2, and remaining is with 10. However, whichever is simpler, because 6 squared is 36 plus 2 squared is 4, and you will get square root 40. You can keep it as it is, or you can simplify. And over here also it is 4 squared 16 plus 9 is 25, so square root 25. And now all you need to do is solve it up. Now, before solving, you need to find theta, that is the angle, not cos theta. So cos goes to the other side. So it becomes cos inverse. Just remember to take cos inverse of all these values, that is negative 24 plus 6 divided by square root 40 plus square root 25. Just close the brackets, and sorry, there is some error which I have done. I have added it. I'm so sorry, it's multiplying. Now you'll get the answer. So, if you add it up, it will go beyond the range of cos inverse. So that's why I got an error. But as you need to put multiply, don't do this mistake in exam, which I just now did. You'll get the answer as 125.69. That's 124.7 degrees. And that's the correct answer. So it is very, very easy. This is the answer. That's it. The theta is what you need to solve. So the angle between them. Now, in the component form, you get an idea where the vector is. So 6 over here, and y is 2. So this is where the vector is. And then other vector is in the negative quadrant, I mean the second quadrant. And the angle between them is basically almost 125 degrees. Similarly, you can solve more problems. Only this formula must be remembered, then everything directly in the calculator. I mean, you need to substitute the formula and do it directly. So it is very simple. You can solve all these problems and check out your answers. These are very, very straightforward. In the next topic, we have got three-dimensional vectors. They have asked us to find the component form, magnitude, and then the unit vector in the direction of A and B. The initial and the final vectors are given, initial and terminal point, or the initial and the final point. Now, whatever we have studied in two-dimensional vector, that is 1 and 2 values, x and y, the same thing, the same formulas, it just extends to one more part, that is z part or z part. So, say for example, we have to find the component form. It's as it is, it's x2 minus x1, that is 11 minus 5. And now y2 minus y1, that would be minus 3. Minus of minus, it becomes plus, so I'll directly write it. Now minus and minus, it becomes plus, so be plus 5. And last, the z part, it's negative 1. Minus times minus will be plus 9. And this would be the component form. Over here, 11 plus 5 would be 16. 5 minus 3 would be 2. And lastly, 9 minus 1 is 8. So this would be the component form. Now let's just check. That is it. Now over here, after you find the component form, let's use this. The magnitude is very, very simple. All you need to do is take the square root of each of these terms. That would be 16 square plus 2 square plus 8 square. The formulas are the same. So let's quickly do it. Square root of 16 square plus 2 square plus 8 square, and it'll be 18. So the answer is 18. And finally, coming to the unit vector. So if you had seen the formula, it is component form divided by the magnitude. So basically, you need to divide each of this term by this magnitude. So it'll be 16 divided by 18, 2 divided by 18, and 8 divided by 18. That is it. So you do not need a calculator for this. You can do it in your mind. So 2 goes in both of this. It'll be 8 by 9, 1 by 9, and again 4 by 9. So that would be the answers. So just divide it, or you can use your calculators. So the same way you can do for all the others, and just check out your answers. So now here you get in terms of square root, just negative 8 divided by this would be the answer, or you can simplify, look into the options. So sometimes the option might be just minus 8 by 4 root 13 would give you minus 2 divided by square root 13. If this option is not there, then you can see the simplified. You're multiplying the numerator and denominator by root 13. So up and down. So you're just manipulating it, but you're not defying any rules or laws. So it's equal to 1. Multiplying by 1 is same. But now what happens is square root 13 times square root 13 would be whole of 13. This 13 minus 2 root 13. So this is how you get this simplified form. Please do try all the others and you will get the answers. And please do check the answers over here. Moving on to the last part, that is the part 3, where you will have to write and solve this paper, these questions. You'll be given paper to write the last 5 questions in this part 3, whereas 2 of them are bonus questions and 3 of them the topics are mentioned. So over here, the first one over here is using Kramer's rule to solve 2 cross 2 system. Now, Kramer's rule is a very effective rule where you can solve any system of equation if it's two system or three system by making a matrix. There are other ways to solve this as well, but since they are specified to use Kramer's rule, you have to follow the Kramer's rule. Now, first and foremost, you need to find the determinant of this matrix. Now, first of all, we need to write the augmented form of this matrix. That is, just write the coefficient before x and x2. Remember, if x1 is the first one, then even below x1 must be the first one. So the coefficients are 3, minus 4, 2, minus 1. So this is the matrix, and then this is the solution region. These are the constants. Sorry. Okay. So now we will have to consider this for now, the matrix, 3, 2, minus 4, and minus 1. Let us just see this. First and foremost, let us solve the determinant. Determinant, as we know, just write a diagonal. First start with this left side diagonal line, and it'll be 3 times negative 1 minus the right side diagonal line, that is 2 times minus 4. If you have forgotten the determinant, please go back to the previous video where the determinants was explained. Then solve this up. You will get the answer. 3 times negative 1 is minus 3, and minus minus becomes plus 8. So the answer is 5. So now we got the determinant as 5. This is a very important step because this lets us know that whether we can solve using Kramer's rule or no. Since it is not equal to 0, we can apply Kramer's rule. If it was equal to 0, you cannot. Now the next step, to find the x1, this unknown value, and x2. Instead of solving simultaneous, we are doing Kramer's rule, right? So how will we solve it? This is by a basic formula. You can see over here x1 equals a1. This is it's the same matrix over here, but you ought to change it. I'll tell you what has changed, but divided by a. Now look carefully, this is not just matrix, it's determinant of that particular matrix. So now determinant of matrix A is 5, so divided by 5, it's very simple. But what about the top part? Determinant of what? A1, what does that mean? Since you're solving x1, the part where the coefficients of x1 are written, see, that is 3 and 4, are replaced by these two values. So if you want to solve for x1, the top matrix becomes A1. How do we do it? Instead of x1 coefficients, we write these two constants. Whatever is right side of equal to, or just the numbers. So the top one, instead of 6, if instead of 3, it's 6. And instead of negative 4, it's negative 13. The other part remains the same. So now you need to find the determinant. It will be 6 times negative 1 minus 2 times negative 13. And solve it up, you'll get the answer. Answer is 4. And the second x2, as you might guess it already, this changes. Let's see it. So now over here, 6 and negative 13 replaces these two. So instead of 2 and minus 1, you have 6 and minus 13. Now find the determinant and divide it by 5, you will get the answer. So it is very, very straightforward. And you can check this answer, various methods of check, but the easiest would be calculator method. Just click on mode, then press 5 for equation, and then you can see there are two simultaneous equations, that's 1. And all you do is whatever is the coefficient of x1, that's 3, 2, 6, and over here we have minus 4, minus 1, and minus 13. Now the answer is 4 and minus 3. The first value is of the first coefficients, that's x1, and y is minus 3. That's it. Now we will go to 3 cross 3 matrix. This gets a little bit crazier because we have to use 3 cross 3 and there's lots of determinants to be solved. So it's not difficult, but it's very lengthy. That's what I could say. So first and foremost, write the matrix. The over here it is important. See, it's fine over here. The coefficients are -1, -2. Uh, there's a change over here. See, always remember x, y, z. These all must be either in plus or minus and equals to the constant number. So the numbers must be after equal to, and x, y, z must be together. Look over here, this needs to go to the other side. So when you take it to the other side, you need to balance it. This becomes minus becomes plus, or add plus 4z on both the sides. You will get minus x minus 2 plus 4z. Similarly, over here you can see there is no z term. That means it's 0, but this 1 has to go to the other side. It becomes -1 because the numbers all at another side. So the matrix is -1, -2, 4. This becomes positive. 3, -6, 1, 2, 5, and 0 because this goes to the other side. That's the just a number, but z is not there, so it's 0. Now we need to find the determinant. Now, if you've forgotten the determinant, please go back to the previous videos where the determinants is explained and we can easily solve the determinant then. So it is first term multiplied. Whenever you consider this first, ignore the rows and columns below and aside of it, and whatever is remaining you need to find determinant. That will be 2 cross true, and next term will be negative and find it over here, and similarly the last one. So once you find the determinant, when it's not equal to 0, only then you can solve for Cramer's rule. If this was 0, then you cannot solve. Now you got a determinant which is other than 0, so you can't solve for Cramer's rule. All you need to do is, once again, if you're getting confused with this determinant, please go to the previous videos where the determinant is explained. Now once this is done, we can apply for Cramer's rule. Now it's the similar formula. I hope you remember this. What we did in 2 cross 2, it's the same thing. To find x, replace all the x values by the numbers. It's basically 12, 15, and minus 1. So you can see over here 12, 15, minus 1 replaces all the coefficients of x. And this divided by the 109. Now again we need to solve for determinant over here. So it's going to be a long one because this multiplied, this cancels out, multiplied -6 times 0 minus 1 times 5. Always when we move on to the next, we have to, second term is always minus in matrices while we solve for determinant, sorry. Minus, now what is this number? Minus 2, ignore these two. What is remaining? 15 times 0 minus 1 times -1. Plus, we have 4 over here. So all this this row and column is ignored. Remaining is 15 times 5 minus 6 and -1. Put all this in calculator, you're going to get the answer. So it is 218 divided by 109. It's basically equal to 2. Same thing is followed for y and z. So it's going to take plenty of time, but just remember, It's very simple. It's just remember to do at least for one properly, and then you will understand the gist of it, and easily you can solve it up. So always remember the constant values, the numbers at the right of equal to will be replacing whichever values you need to find. Instead of the coefficient of y, over here it's been replaced by the numbers. So that's how we do it, and then find the determinant. You will be getting the answer. And therefore, the solution over here is x is 2, y is -1, and z is 3. We can check this in calculator as well. Press mode, equation is phi, and this is three equations. That's x, y, and z. That's option number 2. Now put in all the coefficients, -1, then -2. It'll be +4 when it comes to the other side, and equals to 12. And over here we get 3, -6, 1, and 15. And over here 2, 5, there is no z value, 0, and it's -1. So the answer over here would be 2, -1, and 3. You can check it using your calculator, but you need to write everything. Otherwise, you won't be getting marks. This would be around 6 to 7 marks per question. So please make sure you write it in detail. If it's 3 cross 3 matrix, it takes a lot of time, but it's pretty straightforward. Just remember to solve for determinant. Once you know how to solve for determinant, it is very, very easy. If you have any doubts with the determinant part, please go to the previous video, which is already explained, where the solving of determinant for 2 cross 2 and 3 cross 3 is clearly explained. Please watch it and then continue watching this video. Please do solve the other problems as well and check out your answers. So for 2 cross 2, it'll be only two equations, x and y. When it's 3 cross 3, you will have 3, x, y, and z. Now here you can see the determinant is 0, so no unique solution exists. You can try this in your calculator as well. Mode phi and 2. You will get an error. So 2 minus 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 minus 4, 3, 4, sorry, 3 minus 7, -8. I need to change one of the values. Okay, over here it is 4. Now you can see there is no solution. It shows it'll be the error or no solution because the determinant is 0. That means this cannot be solved. So please do it by yourself and check for the answers. The 22nd topic is on hyperbolas. It is a writing topic, so we will solve in detail how to solve these problems. Now this is a hyperbola. It is like it'll have two branches, like two parabolas, and then these are the vertices between the 2 points, and these are the foci. Generally, imagine they say planets. Two planets are they? That would be the foci. And then say if some comet is moving, because generally a comet would move in a hyperbolic shape. It'll come like this and go. So that would be the branch of the hyperbola which the comet would generally trace, the path that comet traces. Now it can be in various different situations as well. Now here the standard form is very important. That is x squared by a squared minus y squared by b squared equals 1. Now here in such cases the orientation is horizontal. How do you understand is the minus sign is to y, and then it's like this. Whereas minus sign is to the x, then it will be upwards and downwards. And these are some basic things. Now length of the transverse axis. See, this total length is always 2a. And even this total length over here is 2c. And this over here, co-vertices, is 2b. So if at all they give you this length, transverse axis, say it's 100, that is 2a equals 100, so a will be 50. In the equation, we need to put a, that is 50 square, and then solve it up. Let's see a problem over here. Let's do this example problem they are mentioned over here. Earth and Sun are 146 million kilometers apart. A comet follows a path that is one branch of a hyperbola. So now, understanding this, Earth and Sun are 146 kilometers apart. So whatever the distance they gave you is 2c, that is 146. And a comet is coming, that is one branch of the hyperbola. Suppose the comet is 30 kilometers farther from sun than from earth, so it is tracing something like this. And now if the another branch, this distance over here is 30 million, this is about 30 they have given over here. And then what do we need? We need the equation of the hyperbola. So this graph is for understanding. They have given us the foci, that is Earth and the Sun, and they have told the comet is one of the branch, and it has also told from the Sun, from this point, it is 30 millions apart, farther from than from the Earth. So then over here, this is 2a. We have 2c, we have 2a. We can easily solve for a and c. So C is equal to 73 and A is equal to 15. Now this is the thing. Now you can do it in detail. Over here all the details are there. C value is found out and A value is found out. A is 15 million kilometers and C value over here is 73. That is what we just now over here from this simple diagram. You can easily solve it up. And then what else? Before I go further, let me just go back over here. For hyperbola, since c is the biggest length, c square equals a square plus b square. That is, the transverse axis, the a over here, and b is for the co-vertex. A is vertex and b is co-vertex. So we can use this formula now to solve it. Now we are using the same formula. We found C was 73, A was 15, B is unknown. Just take this to the other side, subtract 73 square minus 15 square, and you will get the answer. So this is the answer. And then what do? We can use the equation, the x squared divided by a squared. Now a squared formula 15 squared minus, we are not doing b, this is not b value, this is b square value. We'll just use that 5104, that is below y square equals 1. So this is the answer. So that is the equation. You can do check, but this is all extra. If you want, you can do it, but otherwise that's plenty. This much is more than enough. That's the equation. So they are told to write the equation of the in terms of hyperbola. Now let's do some other problems. See, now they have asked, refer to the application beginning of the lesson. With the sun as a focus and the center is origin. Now here they have told center is origin. A certain comet's path follows a branch of hyperbola. If two coordinates of the path are over here given, what are the units that are in millions? Determine the equation of the path. So now over here we need to write the equation itself, but there is one thing. They have given these two and the center is origin. So now the center over here is 0, 0. And now they have told one more thing. The hyperbola over here, the hyperbola is there, right? It's the path are has the two coordinates. Now this is very important. See, this is the thing. The two coordinates are given. What are the coordinates? One is 10. Let me write this 10, 0. Why I'm writing 0? It's in this axis only. And one more point is somewhere 30 and 100. So I'll write it over here 30, 100. This is very important, this figure. I hope this is clear. So now we know h and k is 0 and 0. Why? Because the center is 0, 0. So the equation is simple. X squared by a squared minus y squared by b squared equals 1. And now, how do we know it's a vertical one? Sorry, it's a horizontal like this. That's because of this coordinates. We can easily understand. And then, what is a value? See, this is the hyperbola, right? They have told the path of the hyperbola as these two coordinates. It's not the foci, the path. So this value would be 10, from 0 to 10. X value is 10. So A is 10. I hope this is clear. So they have told the sun is at the focus and the center is origin, that is 0 and 0, and the comet is having a path of 10 commas have it's moving in a path of a hyperbola. It's a branch of hyperbola, and the coordinates are these two. So it's 10 comma 0 and 30 comma 100. So then all we need to do is simplify and solve. Now over here there is a problem. They have not given any details of the foci. The C value is not known. But we have given the x and y. See, x and y is known. So what you need to do is, in order to find b square, substitute these over here. Instead of x square, put 30 square divided by 100 minus, instead of y square, what do you have to do? You have to put 100 square divided by b square equals 1. Now you need to simplify and solve this. So there are many methods. Solve this, take it to the other side, and then you will have minus 100 square divided by b square equals 1 minus 30 square divided by 100. Put this in calculator, you'll get a value. Take this to the other side and the value to the other side, and you can take the square root and solve it up. Okay, so this over here is done. You can see the methods. See over here, this is used. So we are there. Remember, when you take this over here, when you simplify this and take it to the other side, you will get the answer. You will get both negative, solve it up, and then you'll get the positive over here. And the b square value is 1250. Now all you need is a square and b square. A value was 100, that's fine. A value was 10, so a square will be 100, and b square we found out, and write it in the equation. That is it. Very straightforward, but just understanding the problem is a bit of a thing. Now over here as well, I'll quickly solve this one. It's similar. You can, all the problems over here have the explanations in detail. So you can go through by it yourself, solve it, check the methods and the answers. Now over here they have told this is the natural draft cooling tower, which is shaped like a hyperbola because it increases the effectiveness of the cooling of power plants. And the hyperbola in the tower at the right can be modeled by this equation. The equation of this hyperbola is given. We need to find the width of the tower at the top and the narrowest point in the middle. So now they have told to find this thing. Now over here, this would be the origin, right? This would be the center, sorry. Center. Now we have been told a square value is 16. So what is a value? It will be 4. So a value is 4 over here. Now the total width they have asked, width at the narrowest point. Can you see this? Width of the tower at the top and the narrowest. A narrow means thin, small, the least, this one. So 2a would be equal to 4 into 2, that's 8. Why 2a? Because this is total. 4 plus 4, that'll be 8. So the first answer is, narrowest point is 8. Okay, so one of the answer is 8. What about the other answer? Now, we have the equation, so we need to write the equation. And now, over here, this one, what you can do is, see, this height is given. Can you tell us, can you think and tell what is this over here? Oh, I just wrote the answer, sorry. Take time and understand. This total height is 150, so half of this, because this is in the center, would be 75. So that value can be found out. Now, what is this value basically? That is the y value, isn't it? So now if I know this coordinate, I want to know this coordinate. I know only the y value of the coordinate. So this over here from this to this point will be 75. Y value. But x value is unknown. So I know the equation, x is unknown, but y value I can substitute as 75. So again I'll tell, from here to here, like this height is 75, but I don't know this x value, this x unknown. Okay, x axis, but the y axis I know, so substitute the y axis formula, a value 75 square, and solve for x. See, you can just simplify. All the methods are done, very straightforward solving, and you will get the x value over here. It is 20.4 multiplied by 2, because this is x, multiplied by 2, you will get the value of the width, the top width. This is how we do it. Now over here guys, this is again a simple problem. We have been given x and y equals 16 and they have asked us to make a table. So just make a simple table with these values. You can take minus 12, minus 8 and so on with different scales. Just put the x value. See now, if you know the x value, they have mentioned x is minus 12, y is unknown equals 16. Take this 12 to the other side. Y is 16 divided by minus 12. That is the answer. Very simple to do the table. Then graph the equation. You have the tables, so you need to graph them up. When you graph all these points, minus 12, minus 10, 8, all these points, you will get this answer. And the asymptotes, see the asymptotes are the points where the graph will come close but will never touch. You can see this is the asymptotes are at x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. This is called a special thing because they are called rectangular parabolas. See this asymptote. They are perpendicular, isn't it? The asymptotes are perpendicular. So this property is called rectangular hyperbola. And now, in case you want to find the vertices or the coordinates of the vertices, x and y is equal to, how can you directly solve this? Now, guys, we are multiplying, right? So you need to find the coordinates. Just take the square root of the value. So if they have given this, the coordinates would be 4 comma 4. See, 16 would be at 4 comma 4 coordinate. That's the thing. Now here the coordinates would be 5 comma 5 or minus 5 comma 5 because square root is plus or minus. Same thing over here, and that's how we can solve it. Please do try the other problems. They are also very easy. It's similar like what we have solved before. All the details are there. You can check the answer. The values will be given in the question, whatever is there, and you can easily solve it up. If you have any doubts, just post the screenshot or write in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Moving on to the last topic, last known topic in the EOT, the 23rd topic is to find projections of vectors. Now, before we start the topic, projection is basically like a shadow. So it is very important to know which is projected onto what. So now imagine this is vector u. The shadow of this onto v. That means imagine this is the shadow and this is the projected vector. It's just for understanding, like you can remember it's like a shadow. This is vector v. So now the formula varies depends on what is projected onto what. So the formula is very simple. This is the projection of vector u onto v. So projection of u onto v will be u dot product v divided by magnitude v the whole square multiplied the entire thing with v. So now, if at all it was v onto u, if the vector v was projected onto the vector u, then this would change obviously. This would remain same dot product because v dot product u and u dot product is the same thing. And over here it would be u and u. So please remember what is projected onto what. Now, so here the projections, the vectors are given. So the dot product of these two vectors would be 3 times 5, that would be 15. So this is 3 times 5 plus 2 times negative 5, that would be minus 10. And the magnitude over here, so it is square root of 5 square is 25 minus 5 the whole square also will be 25 plus 25, and then you need to remove it'll be the whole power 2, and then you're multiplying it with 5 and negative 5. So over here the answer would be 5 divided by square root and square cancels off. You will be having 50 over here, and this is basically 1 by 10. So I'll just write 1 by 10 multiplied with 5 and minus 5. So when you multiply this inside, it will be 5 by 10, that is 1 by 2 and minus 1 by 2. This would be the projection of v onto u. Let's just see one by one. It is half and negative half. Now, the problem is not over. This is the projection, yes, fine. But they have also asked one more thing, that is, write U as the sum of two orthogonal vectors. Always remember when there is a projection, you can orthogonal vector means two dot products, two vectors whose dot product is 0. That means it's 90-degree. Orthogonal other thing is 90-degree. So this is the projection. You can see this is the projection W1. Now you need to find another vector which is 90-degree, like straight one over here. See, like this, which touches you at 90-degree. So you need to write it as sum of this and this. The good thing is, see, since we need to find W2 and write W1 plus W2 is U. So we need to find the orthogonal one. I mean, the sum of these two orthogonal ones. So U would be equal to W1 and W2 because it is 90 over here. Now, we know what is U vector given. We just now found W1, that is the projection, okay? What is W2? That would be the U minus the projection. So because U is W1 plus W2, just take W1 to the other side, it'll be minus. And now all you're doing is solving it up. So U 3 minus 3 comma 2 would be subtract half and minus half. So it'd be 5 by 2, that's 2.5, and minus minus becomes plus over here for the next one, so it'll be 2.5. 2.5 is written as 5 by 2. So now we got W1, that is projection, W2. These two are orthogonal. Over here you can see the 90-degree. So write them as the sum. That's it. So this plus this would be the answer. So U, in terms of sum of two orthogonal vectors, would mean this is the answer. That's it. So it is pretty straightforward. You can try other problems as well. You can try many, say over here, the same thing they asked, projection of U onto V and write it as the sum of two orthogonal vectors. So same thing is followed, and finally you will have to write U in terms of two orthogonal vectors, that's W1 and W2. Please do it by yourself and then check the answers. All the answers and solutions are over here. So just make sure to find W1, that's a projection, W2, and then write it as the sum. So it's pretty straightforward. That's thing. We have come to the end of these revision videos. There are two more topics which can be any of the topics from whatever was taught in the term 2. These are bonus questions. They're not undisclosed. They'll be in writing. Now, when you study all these topics, I'm sure you will be you will be understanding how to solve the bonus questions as well. Try your best. Don't leave it. Just try on whatever you have studied, all the 3 lessons. The basic understanding, you will be thorough with it. So try your best and solve the other 2 bonus questions as well. I wish you all the best, and I hope you find the exam very easy. And I hope these revision videos are helpful to you guys. Take care and all the best for your exams.